started over here. It's always a thing, you know. It just takes me a minute. I forgot to let my people know too. If they can, I'm gonna have them do it over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube as well. Let me see if I can get my friends to put me up over there. If there's anybody available, can you pop me up on the horizontal on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube? Thank you. Okay. Let's get another song going. Dugald, if you want to come up and join me, or Amy, come on up. I want to have two friends up today.
I hope I'm not late to the party.
I've got something to say, and I want every gentleman here to have a front row seat in my
ex party.
For the ladies,
One side talks,
one side stays mute.
You carved your covenant in marble,
but forgot the feet that swept the pews.
we bore the sons that filled these seas, and you signed the pact without the one that believed.
I'm called this court to order, heaven and earth bear witness today. Let the record show.
From the garden's first spring, the blame had a woman's name. Two men sat in the shade of a tree. Adam and
Hey
Yaweh
Gracie, thank you. Hi, I'm over it. Good to see you this morning.
moment on, sin's name was easily two
Men alone, it's always the same. If they can't find a woman, they'll make one to blame. This is my ex parte, my one woman plea. You created calamity. You called it divine, but the terms were deceived. I stand unbound with chains at my feet. This is my song, Gracie. Ex parte.
Hey, Crystal, I'm here, but I'm going to be on mute for like 15, okay?
I made the record show no woman sign. Never needed a savior or lamb. Because the truth is, sin's name is man. Sin's name is man. I can't belt it like her, so I'm not going to try.
In the land of Egypt, we lit the flame. Our mother's prayers, our songs unashamed. We worship the heavens, the stars, the seas. We knew the truth before their decrees.
Hey, that gay girl, good to see you. Gracie, good to see you.
We bore the children, we kept the fire.
Stella Nova.
As they climbed higher, once our rituals
Were
were
pure.
pure. Hands in the earth, spirit sure. With Asherah rays, they gave us no choice. But
No God, no man can silence her voice.
please the court to
Hear
hear
my
my
battle cry.
We denounce the God,
We denounce the lies.
The pens were theirs, the scrolls they made. It is man's guilt and man that needs saved.
Okay, Duvall. Rise up now, we hold the power. Whoa, it's time they bow.
Right now is
Never ours to share. Without the glory, there's no guilt to bear.
every woman today
Stands free, sin is new, man holds the deed.
the contract is null.
As defined, may the record show no woman sign. You never needed a savior or lamb, because the truth is
Sin's name is man. Sin's name is man. Yes, the truth is Sin's name is man. Sin's name is man.
I guess I should share out my own life, huh?
The truth is Sin's name is man.
Since name is man. We're just listening to some music as we get started this morning.
You said, come, child, lay down your sorrows.
Oh, I know you.
You said you would be there through all my tomorrows. So I came believing you dry all my tears. But you left me waiting, alone with my fears. When will you draw near? I came to the water, I knelt by your side. I gave you my everything, relinquished my pride. I cried every teardrop and looked to the sky, but I found myself sinking in the flood of your light.
Oh, good. I'm glad it's better. Sorry about that. I didn't realize.
They said your love was too deep to measure, that losing myself would make me your treasure. I gave up my voice, my identity and name, and called it devotion, but it was just shame, and yet still I stay. I came to the water, I knelt by your side. I gave you my everything, relinquished my pride. I cried every tear.
Oh, thank you, God.
And looked to the sky, but I found myself sinking in the flood of your light.
Benny, if you want to join, I'm going to have just 2 friendlies up today.
Never appeared. Your silence was louder than all that I feared. Just when I thought I could take it no more, I found my strength and I walked up on shore. I'm no longer yours. I came to the water and found only me.
And you'll be able to come up too. You can come.
She was
Because I invited you.
I dried my own teardrops into myself pledge. I set myself free at the water's edge. I came to water in the
I got one more song for you guys, and then and then we'll kind of get started here. Good morning, Benny. God will be back, I think, and Amy's
Morning.
gonna come up when she gets done with the call.
That was gorgeous. That was a beautiful, beautiful song.
Thank you. We're gonna have a little fun now, and get a little, like our juices flowing, getting ready for the morning. Okay.
Miss me, now you gotta kiss me. You unwrap my sentence, call it just a thought. Say you love strong women till you get caught. You want a queen who keeps it light and sweet. But bow down, little man, and kiss my feet. Yeah, you're misinformed, misguided, mistaken. And that charm, boy, I know you're faking. Miss me with that misogyny. You ain't the man you think you be. Miss me with that hypocrisy. Your fragile ego and royalty. I'm misbehaving and just being me. Miss me with that misogyny.
wrote some podcasts called Deconstruction. But all I see is you begging for respect. You rate our bodies, dismiss our brains, then cry our men again. Miss me with your tone, miss me with your sigh, miss me with your sweetheart. Boy, bye. Miss me with that misogyny. Don't need your fake apology. Miss me, can't you see? I'm a star. You're just an extra baby. Miss me with that misogyny. Good to see everybody in here. I got a new flash goal. We'll see what it is. And hey, La Paquette, good to see you. Oh, it's just 10 roses, so I just need 10 different people to send me a rose. Good morning, everybody. It's so good to see everybody. Hopefully we'll get some Christians in here, but if not, I'm live for 3 hours, whether we get ops or not, okay? If we get ops and you're enjoying the conversation, if I meet my gift goal, I stay an extra hour. That's how it works. My goal for likes is always 100,000. If we get 100,000, like, that's freaking awesome. You guys are amazing. So, quest reward. Time for next. What is this? You're in Power League. You're in. Now rise to the top. This is what it says, you guys. You are here. Region USA. Track bronze. Okay. I don't know what any of this means.
Right. I don't know what any of those things mean.
I'm
They're
gonna
like,
use
oh,
whatever.
after all this hard work you did, here, now you can purchase like this special gift whenever you go live, or people can purchase it for you.
You can congratulate them on becoming a title gifter. It says you can congratulate them, but it doesn't tell me who that is. I think it's Dugal. Congratulations, Dugal. Hi, Soy Sauce. How are you? Dagda, good to see you. Welcome in, everybody. I need to grab my Bible, too, because for some reason I left everything by my bed today. A little bit.
What books?
Okay, I'll show you. I brought my stack over.
I do gold.
Hi.
I went to an estate sale, Benny, and they had the best books. Okay. Okay. So I have my Bible. If we decide we want to play the horrific Bible tab game, where you guys pick a tab and then we see how horrible it is.
Oh, no.
It's just a fun game, you know? Okay. This one just sounded interesting. Let me see if I can find the title page because it doesn't have a book cover. Okay, here it is. Oh. Wait, I need to get it just right.
Love and Life.
Loves and Lives of Chinese Emperors.
Oh.
That sounds interesting, right? Like just for the fun of it?
Yeah, there's I like Chinese history.
This is the Book of Mormon in Dutch. I don't speak Dutch, by the way. I don't speak Dutch.
I'm Dutch by blood, but I don't speak it.
But it was too interesting to leave behind. I think it was like maybe 50 cents, you know, or $1 or something.
How could you be like, I guess, I don't know, like European and want to like go with the Mormon faith if like the Holy Land is over in America? I just don't get it.
I don't get that one at all.
I actually have a thing on this. They are, their mission trips are specifically to set up chapters in other countries and places.
Mm.
Yeah, colonialism,
Yeah,
colonizing. Yeah.
that's why they're worth $465 billion.
Hey, Shadow, how are you? Okay, so this is the way in
Nah, I
the
do know that one.
70s.
Yep.
You do? Okay, good. This is the Catholic version of it.
Mm-hmm. That was like, how do you explain it? How would you explain it?
Okay, to me, it's a 70s version of the Bible where they were trying to be cool. See, there's like a big slide in there, and they were trying to, like relate to the everyday like person on the street, man. They were trying to be cool and relate. So like there's a guy playing the guitar. And this is the cover page for Psalms, So like they were just trying to be very relatable. Here's the people sitting on a train track because that has to do with the Bible.
Well, it's a good book to have when you're, like when you're out on the road and you're just lost and you don't know where to go.
But you know what's funny, Benny, is it's actually a pretty good translation. If we go to Genesis 1:1, it says, when God began creating.
Oh, wow.
I'm not used to, yeah, right? So that was a pretty good translation. This one's just kind of fun. Freemasonry and its etiquette. I just find the fact that Christians think that Freemasons rule the world and there's some conspiracy. I find anything about them interesting now. Anything that irritates a Christian, I was like, I need to learn more about that.
Who was it? I was on somebody's panel and some Freemason guy came up and was like, you don't know anything. I'm a Freemason. And I was like, there's nothing secret that the Freemasons have anymore. It's out there. And it's all just a boys' club.
Exactly. It's ridiculous. And then I got The Republic of Plato.
Classic.
I just want to learn more about philosophy because y'all are too philosophical for me.
I hate it.
I do read a lot of, like, I have, I think I have like a Russell Bertrand's like Western philosophy book, or Bertrand Russell, not Russell Bertrand. And honestly, I've read through little bits of parts of other books that are like more largely like sweeping with philosophy, but Wikipedia, that's just where I go. And that's where I've learned it all.
That's good. I do Google search terms and stuff when you guys say certain things that I don't understand, like what is solipsism or whatever, like so I can better understand what you're talking about when you guys are talking about shit like that. What is, modal? What I need to know what those words mean.
Modal,
okay?
yeah, modal, or like what are the
Modal.
inference rules?
Right, exactly. What are the inference rules? I was just learning about those, so yeah, it's
pretty much you can just default with inference rules. Just a little trick here. Just say modus ponens, which is
I know it means that you're gonna pwn your that you're gonna pwn your interlocutor is what it means.
or there's modus tollens, which is like without. Modus ponens is within, and yeah, you're pwning them.
You're pwning them at that point. That's
Easy.
how I remember that one.
Easy.
You're not.
There's a lot of inference rules though.
Then I got the New American Bible St. Joseph edition because I don't know, I didn't have that one.
Who the hell is St. Joseph?
I don't know.
Wait, is that like Jesus's dad, Joseph? Or Joseph of Arimathea?
Catholics have a lot of them. There's other that. But there's a lot of St. Joseph churches where I live.
Yeah, there are a lot of St. There's actually a really good podcast episode of Last Podcast on the Left. There's 2 episodes, I think, on the Catholic saints. And it's wild, y'all. Like, you should listen to some of those stories of the Catholic saints. Like, they were, you know, a lot of people talk about the martyrs, you know, but like the medieval crap that happened and like what a lot of people had to do to like get considered a saint is wild. Or have done to them, really. Like one lady was being burned and she told them to like flip her over because she wasn't cooked enough on her other side. And I think she still lived and she became a saint for that.
Oh my God. That is wild. I don't know where all the mugs are at. I just know that I haven't been consistently live. And if you're not consistent, it can be a hard the first few days so you come back to being consistent. So y'all, thank you for being here. I do appreciate that you are here. It was a guy, not a lady, they're saying. Okay.
That
It
was
may have been
St.
a guy.
Lawrence. Sorry, a guy. It was St. Lawrence, a deacon who was martyred on a gridiron.
Mogs is something that born again atheists calls men of God. The Mogs, the men of God. Where are they at? But I really would love to talk to some wogs, some women of God. So it's just an acronym for men of God. Wow, what? Wow, what? I don't know what was shocking to you. The MOG stands for men of God. That is weird, Dougal.
Wait, we know Bob, don't we?
I don't know. I don't know.
I've seen that profile picture.
Oh yeah, lots of people use that profile picture though. So there was a guy who a long time ago in our community used to use that profile picture and sent inappropriate messages to people in our community. He was a Christian, so I don't know if that's the same guy.
That's who I'm thinking of.
Well, come up and talk to us about it, Bob. I'll send you an invite. It doesn't really. So he says I'm only going to bring up 2 friendlies right now. We might switch them out a little bit later, but I don't want people to feel overwhelmed about coming up. I don't want them to feel like, ganged up on and stuff. A lot of times they feel that that's what we're trying to do. And we're just usually hanging out with friends and they happen to come up. We're not trying to gang up on them. Well, Bob, come up and talk. I don't know why you're hanging out in chat. The guest box is open. I sent you an invite. I don't do this like I'm going to answer all your questions in chat. That's boring to everybody.
In a state, did God die? I'm confused.
Yeah, I don't like an estate is something very like transactional and like accounting. Like,
I'm sorry.
wise. I don't know if God has an estate. I don't understand.
Does the IRS know about this?
Yeah, like does God own part of like some acreage somewhere with like? I mean, maybe God has a little bit of Epstein Island.
Yeah, I think he does. I think that we're going to find out that God was on Epstein's island whenever those files are released.
He don't need to go to that island. He has one of his own everywhere he goes. It's called church.
True that.
That's true.
God legally owns everything. I don't think you understand what legally means. Like, what?
So what Bob is saying for everybody is basically he's just saying that he believes in divine command theory. That's all he's saying, and he's trying to put it in lots of words. He doesn't need to. He could just say, I believe in divine command theory. And I just don't. And if a God came to me and said, well, that's how it is, I would say then,
Bob,
what can I fucking do about it?
Legally means bound by law, and I don't know what you're referring to. Like, what laws legally bind God to everything? Are you trying to say like the God's laws? like the commandments, the Torah.
I mean, if we go by legality, then let's face the legality of it and realize that God's portion was just Israelites. He does not own this world, and he can fuck off.
Right, and it just like Amy said, you know, if he wrote the laws, how can he be bound by those laws?
I don't believe everything came from your God, Bob. So, but if Yahweh were a king, I would not excuse his behavior. I would not go, oh, well, he's king, so he could do these things. Apparently, you would. You've kind of answered the question.
Right, I'd be real French real quick.
Yeah.
Does
Thank
anybody
you,
like
Lilith. Good morning, Lilith.
if
Hi,
I'm trying to
Lisa Marie.
picture like God like creating all these things and then being like, "Meh, they're all mine,"
Hey,
and it's like,
Const-
who are you talking to? The thing that you created?
right?
Like who else would they be? I don't. It seems weird. It just seems like a child sitting there with Legos and like creating little Lego characters and being like, "These are all mine." Mm-hmm.
I wonder what goes through a keyboard warrior's mind sometimes. Like in my mind, for me, it's always easier for me to express myself oral, like for me to talk to you in person. Like if I have something important to tell you, I probably want to use my actual voice and not text you so that there's no mistaking what I'm saying, where my inflection is. But I've never thought I just want to sit down and chat and argue with this person, but not go up on their show. It's just never crossed my mind. I do like to go and chat and argue with the chat sometimes. That's kind of fun.
Yeah, sometimes I used to, and now I'd rather, yeah, just like talk about it. Hear the other person out, and maybe I do give people like I try to discuss in good faith.
Me too. I think you are very much so, and I think that sometimes, you know, you're the good cop to my bad cop. Actually, you know what I mean. So I don't see why you think we're angry. I'm literally laughing and having a great time this morning, Bob. So there's no anger here. Anything that you're saying like that is something you must be feeling inside and trying to project onto us because I'm having a great time this morning. It's a beautiful day. All my bills are paid. All my people are safe. Those are things that make me happy and make me feel good. So I don't know where you think the anger is coming from. I haven't said one angry thing yet today. Haven't
Yeah,
even felt anger today.
I'm not really. I'm not at that point yet. Yet.
When did I curse about something this morning?
I don't remember.
That's weird.
Even
But
if you
if you
did, who
can't
fucking
handle,
cares?
I know if you can't handle a fucking curse word, then you have problems. You're not okay, okay? Because this is the fucking, you know, this is the year 20 fucking 25. Get the fuck over yourself. People fucking say the F word. They say goddamn shit, motherfucker. Get over it. Quit clutching your pearls, princess.
And nowhere in the Bible does it say I can't say fuck, shit, damn, or hell. Fuck that.
Exactly.
What I would like is for Bob to tell us anything that we don't already know from the Bible.
Yeah.
Just
I
like
don't
anything.
think Bob I don't think
Bob,
he
could you teach
could.
us one thing?
Good morning, Archbishop Evans. Good morning, Polish Hillbilly. Good morning, everybody. Good to see you guys in here. Lisa Marie, I don't know if you heard me earlier, but good morning. What are you talking about? I actually study the Bible, so I accept that there are some things that are historically true. I believe there are historical people in the Bible, but if you think that I believe that a donkey talked, you're right. I don't, because that's just fucking stupid. So,
Yeah, knowing
and you don't believe that Muhammad split the moon in half. So we're
right.
both, kind of on even footing there.
Yeah, knowing the content of something and believing it are two different things.
Well, what makes it bad is that it mentions the wrong people in history for the timeline it's trying to give us, which is insane.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. No, Bob, he doesn't. And I'm not. Here's what's going to happen, Bob. Either come up and defend your belief or you're going to be muted because we're not going to continue to talk to you. You have to
See, I
go
don't know.
play your game somewhere else.
Psalms 121 is confusing then if earth belongs to God because what is it in the other psalm where God was given Israel by the Most High? Yahweh was given Israel.
And I
So
thought Satan was given this world.
Yeah, it's so confusing. And then
it's very
Satan, and then people also, because Adam was given dominion over it. It's so, wow, weird that there's contradictions in your perfect little book.
There are other creator gods out there that are much older than Yahweh. So so isn't he stealing from them legally?
Legally, I would say yes. Legally.
sorry, it was Deuteronomy 32, 8 through 9. But I think there is
You
a
are a
psalm.
Christian. If you're a Christian or a believer, the God of the Bible, the guest box is open. Come on up. If you're over on YouTube, good morning, YouTube. I'm sorry I haven't said hi to you yet. Good morning over there. I don't have a way for you to call in yet, but I'm working on that. We're going to have a way soon for you to call in from the YouTubes. I'm working on upgrading my equipment. That's what that little thing is for. Whenever you guys donate to my PayPal, Cash App, Venmo, or gift me, that money is going to upgrading my equipment, and then Justin is going to help me get it all set up so that so that I can become a big boy. I can become a big kid and do big kid.
Well,
Oh, sorry. See, those things.
it is cuffing season, so why not?
So yeah, I want to grow up one day and do real streaming. I will also have better lighting because for whatever reason, this light, and I want you to know I have a light. Like, you can't see it. I have a ring light, but it doesn't light me up enough.
You're getting some like glare or something. It's like, do you have like a microfiber cloth or something that you can wipe your lens with?
It's not my lens. It's because I'm backlit so much that it gives me a ghosty look.
It's bleeding through. Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And so what I need to do is get blackout curtains. That's another thing. Y'all don't know how much it takes to just stream. It's just so, it's always one thing
A lot.
or another.
It's a lot more than I thought it was when I got into it. Now I'm like, what the fuck?
Right? You go like, oh, I could turn on my camera and stream. Like, I can do that. That's not hard. And then you start doing it. You're like, oh, this is really shitty. I should do this, that, or the other thing.
Right.
And then you're like,
now
oh,
I'm knee deep in OBS. Now I'm knee deep in OBS and don't know what the fuck I'm doing.
Exactly. People are like, have you checked your desktop audio? Which one is that? I have a application audio, a TikTok audio, a desktop audio. What are we talking about here? Hey, Archbishop, how are you today?
Hi, it's me, Father Mark. I just changed my username.
Oh, hi. How are you?
Good. How are you?
Mark, hello.
I kept having people tell me that the Bible says to call no man father, so I just switched it to Archbishop because that's my actual rank. I just figured going by father would be easier for everyone, but you know.
It's the internet. Everybody's got contention with everything.
Oh, I know. But the whole call no man father comments have stopped, so.
Well, that's good.
Father Mark, do me a favor. Will you check your calendar for the 14th and see if you're free? in the afternoon?
14th of December?
Yes.
That is a Sunday. I should be okay in the afternoon.
Oh, it's supposed. Well, oh, maybe it's the 15th. Then Rabbi Hannah gave me that date, but she said it was a Monday.
Oh, if it's a Monday, yeah, I should be available. Yeah, I should be available because seminar is out until
Okay,
January.
I'll send you a message. I'll send you a message for it then. It's for the monthly special that Rabbi Hannah and I do.
Oh, okay.
That day is Joyful's birthday, apparently.
So
What day?
Diciembre, quince, I can't remember how to say 15. Quince,
No, shit. What is 14?
diez,
14. 14.
14. That's it. 14.
Yo hablo español. Yo entiendo más que yo hablo. Pero yo hablo.
Oh, I was gonna say, soy sauce. Bob is the reason why I fully believe that Christians need a degree to actually open their mouths, because at this point the lack of education is astonishing.
Gosh, I second that. Look at
Right? You know how astonished I was when I started all this, and I found out that more than like 80% of Christians don't even fucking read this book. I'm
Well,
like,
I mean,
what?
only 5% of American clergy are formally educated, so
That's another one that boggles my mind.
yeah. I spent 6 years studying this crap. So yeah.
Hey,
I
Jared.
think
Hi,
people need to
Zach.
be educated.
Good morning, Hutu. How are you today?
Somebody said they had a
Good. How are y'all?
I'm doing good. Hey, Zach. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. Zach, if you get a chance, you have to come up and show me my laugh. I want to hear you impersonate my laugh. Hutu, today's topic is, if Yahweh were a king, would you excuse his behavior? The same ones that people go, well, he did that because he's God and he has a greater plan. Would you also say that was okay if he was just a king and not God?
I guess, are there any like specific behaviors you're asking about?
Like if a king said, go unalive all these people because they pissed me off 400 years ago.
No, I don't think I would say it's good or just for a king to do that.
Thank you. I really appreciate that honesty, because then I have to ask, why is it okay if a God does it?
Because
Please don't use all caps in my chat, okay? Because my mods do that in order to get my attention. So it's for mods and people who are visually impaired. Thank you.
I think it's just for God to do that because all human beings are guilty before him for sin, but human beings are not guilty before other human beings for sin, which in the case of this prompt, it would be a human being king, and I don't think that we're guilty before other humans for sin, the way we're guilty before God for sin.
Okay, so is it your belief that the minute you are born with sin?
I see in scripture that all humans are born with a sinful nature. We see that in Ephesians, I believe it's Ephesians 2, 3, and 4. And even David actually in the Psalms would argue that he says in Psalms 58:3 and Psalm 51:5 that the wicked actually go astray from the womb. And he says, in sin, my mother conceived me. So, yeah, I would definitely say from the moment you're born, human beings have a sinful nature, but even before then, I believe life begins at conception. So I guess I could argue that point as well.
So you think they might even have sin before they're born?
I don't think that they have committed a sin, but yes, I do think that all humans will be born with a sinful nature. And so I don't see any reason
then how
to.
do we have free will if I don't even get a chance?
I think it depends on what you mean specifically by free will. I would consider myself a compatibilist. So I might
Okay.
define or view free will a little bit differently than like a libertarian free will view that a lot of Christians would hold.
How do you define it?
Sure. In my compatibilist belief, I believe that a human being willingly acts on the desires that they have. For example, anytime I sin, I do it because that's what I want to do, right? I'm acting on that desire. Now, I do believe that God has ordained or determined, predestined, predetermined, whatever word you want to use, everything, including that sin. But the reason I'm accountable for it, like we see in Romans 9, is because I willingly am doing that. It's not like I'm saying, no, God, I don't want to hit this person right after they hit me. Don't make me do that. No, I do that, right? And I'm accountable for it. Although I do believe God has ordained everything.
If he's ordained everything, then what's the point of prayer or anything else? We're just
Um,
puppets.
I think the answer would be the same
And
for
how
that
can you
as
sin? And how can that be sin then if that's what he makes you to do?
I think there's a category where it's possible for God to ordain sin and not be a sinner himself.
Right,
Now,
but that's not fair to punish people for something he created them to specifically do.
I think it is. I think it is just. Yeah, I don't think, like
How?
I said,
Wait. How is that just? If I create something
mhm.
and it has no choice but to do a thing that I don't like it to do because I made it do that thing, how is it that thing's fault that it has to now be punished? And how is that just?
Well, that's a
When it
great.
had no control over it.
Yeah, that's a great question, and actually, Paul asks that exact same question in Romans 9, and then gives us the answer, which you, I don't know for sure, but I have a feeling you're not going to like the answer that we get in Scripture right after Paul asks that. It's in Romans 9 when he
What,
asks,
that God's will, there's no
why
will but
does
God's will?
no. Romans 9 says, Paul's asking, well, then why does God still blame us for who can resist his will? Right? That's the exact question you're asking here. And the answer is, but
That's
who are
what I just
you?
said.
The answer is, but who are you, a human
Yeah,
being,
who
to
are you
talk
to
back to God?
specifically
Right?
make
You
it
don't,
right?
that's not a good answer for you. You probably don't like that.
It's
But
not a
I
good
believe
answer,
that's the
period.
answer.
It's
Oh,
not a good answer for me. It's not a good answer,
because
period.
that's a thought stopping cliche, and it's something that religious people do to control other religious people. Don't think too hard about this, because if you do, like what you're going to come to is God is God.
I don't
So
think
if you
it's a
just
bad
believe in
answer.
divine command theory, then just say that. Like, I don't have the right to question God because he made everything.
Oh, I do believe in divine command theory, but the reason I would justify that is because I believe God's in a position of authority, right? Similar to
Doesn't make it
if my
right
well,
Hey,
or
let me
just.
ask you this: like, if my child were to ask me why they can't do something, and I simply say because I said so, that's a good enough answer because I have
No, actually,
authority over
it's
them.
actually not. You're just
I
creating
don't owe
problems with your
them
child, but that, right,
I
but
don't
you're
owe
just
them an
creating,
explanation.
you don't owe them an explanation, but what you're doing is
And
creating a
God
problem.
does not
that's
owe us an
I
explanation
But
to
he
disagree.
everything.
does
Do you
if he is going to make us do this.
do you have children, Hutu?
Uh, yes.
I do too, and I'm going to tell you something that I learned a long time ago, and I think that I've been a successful parent. I've raised 3 children; they've all survived, and they're all healthy, happy, contributing members of society. So, as I tell you this story, I just want you to know that. I think it's really important that we explain to children why we are telling them something, and not that we're just doing it with authority. One, we teach them why. We literally teach them why. That's a fucking important thing to understand. Why am I telling you not to run out in the street? Because cars come by, they weigh thousands of pounds, and they will kill you if they hit you. That is why I'm telling you not to run in the street. And now the child has an understanding of impeding danger. If I go, because I said so, their rebellious nature might make them run into the street to try to rebel against me. That's not good. But if I teach them why, they might feel a little life preservation in them. 2, if I teach them to ask why to authority, they will, and they should. because just because somebody is an authority doesn't mean that they should obey them. If a man says, come into this bathroom with me, young girl, she should know to say, why? I don't want to go in there with you. And if I've taught her to never question authority, she won't. Hutu, it's really important to tell children why.
Yeah, I think in some instances, yes, but if
In
my
all
child,
instances, it teaches them.
yeah, I think sometimes it's good to. I disagree that you are required to always give your child an answer or a specific reason for what you've decided.
And I think that's why I have a healthy relationship with my children, and you probably won't when they're my children's age.
I mean, okay, I completely
I mean,
disagree, and you don't
there
know
are
anything
whole
about me or my life outside of what I've told you here. So,
well, based on what you
point to
told us, so we can actually guess a lot of things because there are whole ass studies on this type of parenting, and it shows it's ineffective and creates people who lack empathy, critical thought, and don't do things correctly in life. They just bulldoze shit. Like, you guys love to say these things are like just and fair and fine, but then you'll
You don't
say
have to
because I
just.
said so. That's not the same thing. That's not
right.
fair
So
or just.
I think honestly, the problem with us getting into this type of conversation that it's turned into is you and me and all of the hosts on here will, without a doubt, disagree on what it means to live a successful life. So we kind of skipped over that, Crystal, when you said, you feel like you've raised your children successfully. You and I would disagree what that looks like.
I named what the success was too.
And I disagree.
Listen to what I said? Oh,
yeah,
you
and I
don't
disagree.
think that happy, healthy, and contributing members of society isn't successful?
I think those might
What's
be
not successful
smaller
about
important
that?
things. Well,
What's
I think
so most important?
I think
Hutu, what's
the
the
most
most important thing?
I think the most important thing that you can do is raise your children and teach them the truth of Jesus Christ.
Oh,
Right,
well,
and that's-
I don't, because that
Right. And that's what I said
feel
is we
that
disagree.
Excuse me. Let me finish. I heard what you said. Now let me just talk. I don't think that's the most important thing, but I did teach them that, by the way. Hutu, I raised them Christian.
And are they Christians right now?
No, they're not, because we all
Okay.
realize that it's a made-up story, and they don't believe that mythology any more than they believe any other mythology.
Right. Then,
We
like I
learned
said,
together that it was mythology, and just because you believe in a mythology and you think your mythology is the most important thing doesn't mean that it actually contributes anything beneficial to this society.
right. Yeah.
But hang on one second. I want to hear from Zach real quick. Hey, Zach, how are you today?
Hey, fam, how you guys doing? I'm sorry, I'm at the gym. It's so loud behind me. I just wanted to come up and contribute real fast. I remember Hutu, you and I talked for a while on Joyful's live, and we came. It's just interesting that this subject matter is coming up here, and I just wanted to toss in on this, that really at the end of your reasoning and of the foundation upon which you build everything that you believe is completely subjective and faith-based, which is what we came to the agreement of at the end of the conversation. So it's interesting that you're here asserting that you know the best way for Crystal to raise her children or me to raise my children, when really just comes down to your subjective belief about this mythology, which is what you agreed to. So I'm curious why you feel like you can stand on anything reasonable to do that when you yourself confess that it is a completely subjective standpoint.
Yeah, sure. Once again, I would say I agree. Everything that I just laid out for what I believe it means to successfully raise a child, sure, you can once again call that subjective. Yeah, that's all it is.
Why
Me
would
and
you
Crystal
assert-
disagree.
Then why would you assert that that's the way that Crystal or Dugald or myself or anyone else should raise children?
Honestly, if you are not a believer, then I wouldn't hold you to that same standard. So I really wouldn't.
But it sounds like you are.
I think you should. Like, I hope that you would, but by not doing that,
Why?
I
Based
can't
on what
hold you.
reality, though? Why?
Well, I think you kind of just maybe answered your own question, not based on any objective reality.
Okay,
You
so
answered
why
it in your
would you
first
take
question.
something that
That's
is
what I
not-
believe.
Why would you take something that's not objective reality, which Crystal is taking something that is objective reality? We should raise competent, human beings who are contributing positively to society. I think that's objective. It doesn't
I
matter what
disagree.
religion you are. You don't think it's objective that children should be competent and contributing positively to society, so you think they should be not competent, so incompetent, and contributing poorly
healthy.
to society?
Healthy
I don't-
was one of my things.
Oh,
I
healthy.
don't
I'm
think
sorry.
under your
You
worldview,
don't think they're important? You don't
to be
think those things are
honest,
important?
under your worldview, I don't think you can say anything's objective, and atheists know that.
That's,
Or you
So-
should. You should
that's
know
not
that.
true.
What? I'm
That's
sorry,
not
what
true.
did he? What was his claim that nothing?
You said
could
that
be
we can't
objective?
claim anything is objective because we're
That's
atheists.
not true, Hutu.
That's not true at all.
Absolutely
It is true.
ridiculous.
No, it's not.
No, it's
because
not.
here's the thing: morals are subjective. Yes, morals are subjective, even to Christians, or else it wouldn't be different among all of you. But morals are subjective. But what is not subjective are the outcomes. Outcomes are objective and measurable. For every action you take, that is a moral consideration. So if you're going to say that we can't base anything off anything, that's not true. Most people who have empathy, compassion, and reason, which are inherent things we are born with,
Right, you said
as
most.
social species, hold on,
You already
hold on.
said most.
As social species, then that is part of what we do. That's a subjective morals, but it's not subjective outcomes. Those are objective. We can always measure those.
Yeah, I disagree. And you started your response off with most, which
No,
kind of proves
bro.
my point. It's subjective when you use the word most.
Okay.
Objective would be
all
all.
moral decisions have objective, measurable outcomes.
Could you give me, I don't think I agree with that.
Name one decision that could be made morally that would not have an objective outcome that we can measure.
What do you mean made morally? Because you believe morals are subjective.
Moral decisions. You know
Right,
very
which you
well what I
believe
mean
are
by that.
subjective.
Domestic goddess.
Yes, your decisions again are morally subjective, but
Right.
the outcomes of said decisions are not.
Okay, so you're arguing the outcomes of subjective
Yes.
decisions are always objective.
Outcomes are what are objective because they are measurable. There is always going to be an effect of a decision that is made.
I mean, okay. What's your major
The
bring
harm
it all together, what's
reduction
the point?
that comes from compassion, reason, and empathy
And that's
is what
the-
most people rely on.
Most.
And
there
if
you
you
go.
look at, most people, because again,
It's
morals
subjective.
themselves are subjective. We have
Yep.
psychopaths, we have all kinds of shit that says otherwise. And again, it's subjective even among Christians because all of you have different morals between you.
No.
No,
that's
yes.
incorrect.
Some of you are fine with child diddling. Some of you are fine with G-side. Some of you are
The
fine
Bible's
with
not.
slavery. Some of you are fine with a lot of shit that goes on.
No. When I talk about objective morality,
You
I'm
can
talking
no
about
all
what
you
the
want on
Bible
that, but that
says.
is objectively true.
So I think Christians have different subjective interpretations of what the objective Word of God says.
The word
That's
of,
the difference.
That right there.
that's hilarious.
That is hysterical. You
Right, so
cannot
I
say
believe the Bible
objective word of
objectively
God.
says something.
You cannot say the objective word of God and turn around and tell me that everybody has a subjective understanding of it. That makes
You know
no
what?
sense.
I used to really feel that way too, that the Bible objectively said one thing. That's why I went to seminary to become a textual critic and begin to study the language in its original context. And what I found out very quickly is we know very little about what's actually meant by what is said in the original language. So it's funny that you're saying what you're saying. The reason why there are 40,000 denominations of Christianity is because it's very difficult to determine what is meant by what is said. And one of the reasons for that is because it's a collection of books, many of which are written by multiple authors that have different attestations and differences depending on the text types. So we have all of these different ways that we strung together our theologies and dogma throughout Christendom. So what you're saying is borderline nonsensical. It does not objectively say one thing. And by the way, earlier you said that the Bible doesn't condone G-side slavery, grape, and these horrible atrocities, and it absolutely does. If you want to take seriously what's said throughout the Old Testament, we can see a sweep of Yahweh using these things as quote unquote good moral and just punishments for being against him. And you know
Right.
that's the case. You and
Yeah.
I looked at one of those passages together.
Yeah, and I think only God can justly give those specific commands that you just listed.
Morality is suspended in the case of God committing some kind of thing that we would see as a church. That's very William Lane Craig of you, and I understand that argument, and I think it's deeply fallacious, because what you're saying is basically any atrocity that's listed throughout the Old Testament isn't man writing a story and saying something that was accepted at the time, but it's actually God morally committing this deep atrocity like grape of David's 10 wives. Right. So you're saying that's actually just and good that he did that. This is grape apology, and it's disgusting.
It's not, in the sense that I would take
It's
the
not
stance
what?
that
It's not what? I said a lot of things. It's not what?
It's not grape apology, in the
You
sense
just said that it was okay.
No.
You did. You
I'll
said
be very
because
clear.
God did it, it was okay.
Wrong. That's not what I said.
That's
Zach,
literally what you've been saying this whole time.
I'm sorry,
What
Duval.
do you
Can
mean?
I
That is
respond to
what you
Zach?
said, but yeah, what do you mean by what you said? Because you did say that, but what do you mean? What did you mean? Maybe I misunderstood.
Yeah, so I don't know if you heard, you may or may not have been in here when I first got up here, but I made the statement that I believe God can ordain a sin without being a sinner himself, right? And I believe God can also ordain something that he does not necessarily condone or think
so
is
sorry.
good.
I'm so sorry. I did hear the whole thing. That doesn't apply to what I'm talking about. This was God actually
It
making
does, and here's
happen.
why.
He
Here's
was
how.
hold on. He was very clear that he's the one to make the grape happen in the case.
Correct.
Yeah. So he didn't ordain
Totally.
that one. So what you're talking about doesn't apply.
Hutu, it's really hard already for me to hear Zach because he's at the gym. When he talks, can you please not do that? Okay, don't do that. Please stop doing that to him. I can't hear him. Okay, thank you.
Yeah, so here's how that applies, Zach. I believe that God ordained those women to be graped. I also believe that grape is evil, and I also believe that it does not make God evil for ordaining that. Those are the three key points.
So my point is
That's how it's not grape apology.
And Dougal, please go after me here. But this is what I'm saying. In that particular case, God directly instigated the grape happening, and he was very clear to say that to David via Nathan. Remember, we looked at that passage together, and you conceded the point. So this was not a case of him ordaining this and allowing sin, which that is an apology that's made for certain sins throughout the Bible. I understand that line of apologetics. I still think that's fallacious for other reasons, but I'm saying in this case, you can't make that claim. This is God directly instigating it.
Yeah, God ordained it.
No, not ordained like he's off of it. He directly instigated. He said, I will do this thing to you.
Yeah, he did.
What you did in private will be made in public.
Right.
I will do to you in public.
Right, he did.
Okay.
So how is that? Yeah, go ahead.
Here's the two questions I got. I need you to define what it means to ordain something, and I need you to define the word justice.
Well, wait, hold on, Zach. I think we were almost on the same page there. Who graped those women? Let me ask you.
Absalom did.
Sorry, I threw my phone down. Yeah, it was Absalom, which was David's son.
Right. So God did not grape them, right? You
But
can call it
caused
instigated.
He said,
ordained
he
it.
said
Yeah,
he caused it.
Right.
No,
Caused,
not ordained. He said
determined.
caused. Quit changing the word. You are literally changing the word God chose, and you're going, no, I know better than
you
God.
can say
I'm
chose.
gonna change. Okay, then quit saying no.
You can say chose,
caused.
determined,
Caused.
predestined, caused. Sure.
Any
of them.
Start saying caused.
Yeah,
Start
God
saying
caused it.
Quit,
God
quit
caused,
changing it.
Here's
God
the
caused
point.
Absalom
Here's the
to grape
point.
those women.
God,
And I think that was just.
Yeah, and he was, and
follow.
he was okay. Not only was he okay with, but he blessed Absalom doing this thing because he was saying David deserved it. And these women had no part in David's sin at all. In fact, they were perpetrated against by David, and yet they were punished for his sin. This is ridiculous. This is ridiculously immoral. And the God that is portrayed in those sections of scripture is evil, period. That you cannot make apology for that, man. It's ridiculous.
Yeah, so-
It's the most ridiculous gymnastics I've ever heard for an apologist to make this claim.
This is exactly why my question exists. Hutu, if it was a king who said, I want you, my servant, to go grape these 10 women because of what this other guy did, you would find this abhorrent. But because it's your God, you go, yeah, it's cool then. Yeah, it's all right that those women suffered. It's all right that they bled. It's all right that they cried. It's all right that they were humiliated and shamed, that it was done in front of the whole city, that from that moment on, everybody who looked at them thought that they were whores and sluts, even though they had no choice in the matter. That's all okay because it was God. But if it was a king, you would say, God, what a fucking evil king.
Yeah, and I already answered why. Because no humans are guilty before that king for sin, the way they're guilty before God for sin.
Well, answer why this is okay.
Those women weren't guilty at all. You're just making
they had
them
a sinful
guilty
nature.
for no reason.
We went over that in Ephesians 2.
They don't deserve grape, Hutu.
They actually deserve death, ultimately. So every second they're not
Then
dead
kill
on
us
earth
all,
by the grace of God.
You're a fucking disgusting person.
Yeah, this is great. Hey, I'm just curious one more time. Like, how are you saying it's okay for God to do this thing to these women? He said, I will do this thing to you, to you that you did in private. I will do it in the eyes of all of Israel. He did this to these 10 women. You're conceding that. And not only are you conceding that, you're saying that he didn't, what did you say? He doesn't participate in the sin, or it's not evil from, what did you say exactly? I don't want to misquote you.
It's just for God to ordain sin.
Oh, but is it just for God to do that thing?
Well, God did not grape those women, was my point.
No, he said, I will do he said, I will do this thing. He wanted to be sure he had full credit for it.
He said, I will raise up trouble within your household.
No, he said, I will do, you want to go look at the passage? He literally says, I will do this thing.
Let me make it really clear that God tells you in Deuteronomy 28:63 that not only does he do this shit, he enjoys it. Just as the Lord took delight in making you prosperous and numerous, so the Lord will take delight in bringing you to ruin and destruction. He loves it. This is not something, you're trying to make him seem like a soft little buttery cup, but he actually enjoys this shit.
Yeah, so Zach, what he says is,
your own teaching.
He says, I will take your wives and give them to the one who is close to you, and he will sleep with your wives.
That doesn't make
Stop. Do you guys mind pulling up the passage? It's 2 Samuel
12, 11.
Yeah, 2 Samuel 12. Yeah. Keep reading. Do you have it there, Hutu?
Yeah,
keep reading.
Yeah.
Keep reading.
Says, before your very eyes, I will take your wives and give them to one who is close to you.
I will take your wives.
Yep.
Okay, keep going.
And give them to one who is close to you, and he will sleep with your wives. So we see God is not sleeping with them.
Keep going.
Verse 12, you want to go into the next verse?
Please, keep going.
You did it in secret, but I will do this thing in broad daylight before all Israel.
Do this thing. Keep going.
What did he? Yeah.
Keep going.
He's giving them to Absalom.
No,
in broad daylight.
Do this thing.
No. Look at the antecedent.
Look at the antecedent. What he just said.
You're so
the thing is what he just said he's going to do, which is he literally says, I will take your wives and give them to who?
No, keep reading.
What God's doing.
Keep reading.
Verse 13 says.
No. Keep reading. Right after, I will give the. I'm sorry. I'm at the gym. I wish I had it right in front of me. You read over it. And then the antecedent to which he was referring was just after what you just said was with Absalom. Read it again.
I'll read the whole thing again.
Good.
Before your very eyes, I will take your wives and give them to one who is close to you, and he will sleep with your wives in broad daylight. You did it in secret, but I will do this thing in broad daylight before all Israel.
There it is. Keep going.
Then David said to Nathan, I have sinned against the Lord. Nathan replied, the Lord has taken away your sin. You are not going to die.
I don't understand how the liability does not lie on God.
Oh, no, I agree. God ordained this sin to take place.
You did it in secret. I will do this thing. The thing you did in secret, I will do this thing in the sight of all of Israel. You said that he was referring to Absalom doing it, but he said, I will do this thing that you did in secret.
Yep.
That's what he's referring to, not to Absalom, but to the thing in secret. So even syntactically in the structure of the sentences there, you were just being coy. Do you realize that?
Well, wait.
So frustrating when I hear these gymnastics. You're making a ridiculous point to try to say that somehow God is acquitted of the responsibility of this sin.
No.
That's why you keep using the word ordained.
Zach, can I make sure I understand your stance? Is your stance that God graped these women?
Of course not. He doesn't have a body.
Okay. Agree. Okay.
Several
So
bodies,
God has
but
not
that's
raped these women.
He
has
He
caused.
He is the one.
He has
He caused it.
caused.
He
Correct.
blessed it. He ordained it. He
Agreed.
said he is
Agreed.
saying this is, you deserve it. Your wives are going to receive this.
Agreed.
And I'm causing this thing to happen to you. And he wanted to be sure that David understood that this punishment was coming from him,
Yeah.
not
Okay.
from Absalom. This wasn't something bad Absalom did. This is something that God is condoning that Absalom
Right.
did. And this is ridiculously evil.
Yeah. So I think you and I actually agree on all of that. Yeah. That
Oh.
God did do that. Yeah. That's what he says.
Is that he doesn't
That is
care
evil.
that God did it. That's it. It's not
No.
about not taking responsibility.
I
So he
see.
doesn't
I see.
care that God did it.
My point is that God can do that justly and
Well,
not be a sinner
God.
himself.
I just
Fuck you, God.
So,
So-
how in the world could that possibly be the case, brother?
can I make an
He
analogy
doesn't care about
here?
women. He
Because
thinks women are
that's
nothing
exactly what
but
Romans 9
objects.
tells us that.
So
Romans
if
9 tells us how.
If I like took a baby and put this baby into like a cage with a feral, just like rabid dog that somehow still takes my command, and I tell the dog, eat that baby, is it the dog's fault or my fault that that baby was ate?
Oh, I think it's your fault.
So how is God not responsible?
Well, because this is a terrible analogy. You are not God. You're a human being. So trying to compare
Okay,
these
so I
two
am an
instances
all-powerful,
are-
all-seeing, all-knowing being, and I just did that. Please tell me how I'm not responsible.
You wait. In this situation, you are God, right? That's what you're
Sure.
saying now.
Yeah.
Did you also create the dog?
Yeah.
You created everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. God can do anything he sees fit with his creation, and it's just. Period.
Ew, you have a
End of
gross
story.
God. Ew.
So,
I
hold
would
on.
not worship that
Hold on, I
God.
gotta ask this
I
now.
have a
I gotta
God.
ask this.
Guys, that's
With
what
no
Romans 9
compassion.
says. That's
Does
what the
this mean
scripture
Hutu?
says.
That's why I don't
Hold on.
worship your God. He's an idiot and
What
disgusting.
does this mean, Hutu, that if you're God, if you perceive somehow that your God gives you a command to do something like is mentioned in any of these passages, you would do it?
If I knew without a shadow of a doubt, and also,
Well,
if I
hold on.
believed God was
Before
still
you say
giving,
also, hold on. Get to that in a second. Let's address what you just said. You just said without a shadow of a doubt. Yet you have zero proof for this God, and you already have it down as a fact in your mind. So how are you going to tell me it's beyond shadow of a doubt when you don't even have proof of the thing that is supposedly talking to you in the first place?
what do you mean? How am I going to tell you what's beyond a shadow of a doubt?
That it's your God speaking to you.
Right. That's what I was getting to in the second half of my answer.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So if there was something that occurred, such as a literal burning bush speaking to me, right? For example, that would be something very similar to what we see in the Old Testament. God making himself very clearly seen, making his commands very clearly known to people for them to follow. I do not believe that God is doing that in the same way today under the new covenant. So
No,
you're
but he's
trying to
suppo-
relate two different types of commands and how God shows
But-
himself to us,
but
and then
according
make
to
up
Christians-
some arbitrary hypothetical.
Hold
and see
on,
if I would apply it the same
though.
way.
Hold on a second though. Christians worldwide in all denominations, all 45,000 of y'all, all across the board have experiences with this God. Are you saying that those are not real then?
No, not at all.
Okay, so again, if you were to have one of these experiences that nobody else can know about or see, prove, or otherwise, that all these other people claim, and he tells you to do one of the terrible things we've been reading about, you're going to do it.
I think, one, it would be just and good for me to follow any command that God gives ever. Two, I don't know. As a sinner, maybe I would
This
not.
is scary. This
Wow.
is scary.
Wow.
You made your point really well, Dougal. That's scary. But I also quickly just wanted to cap off. I feel like I know exactly where you're going in your apology with everything we were discussing before regarding God's immoral commands throughout the Old Testament. You mentioned
There's
Romans
any
9
immoral
again.
commands.
You mentioned, yes, he does. You mentioned Romans 9 again. And so I wanted to address that really quick because that is where I went with it in my apology previously when I was a Christian. Because I go, well, hey, who are we? Who are you, O man, to answer back to God? How can what is made say to its maker, why have you made me this way? That's what Paul is saying in Romans. Here's the problem. We have really, really, really poor, if not lacking evidence of, number one, Paul even existing in the first place. Second of all, the reliability of these scriptures throughout the New Testament. Really, really bad. So you're just saying that because the person claiming to be Paul says that in Romans, specifically the book Romans, that you're saying that makes apology for all of the atrocities of the Old Testament, because you're referring to original sin. You're saying because all of us in our natural state are worthy of eternal wrath and damnation and punishment, that God is therefore just to basically do whatever he wants to us during our lifetimes because we deserve eternal damnation anyway. So because of that, he's just and moral to commit whatever, to ordain or commit great genocide. I'm sorry, I can't remember what I'm not allowed to say on here. All of these things throughout the Old Testament, which is why you're saying that they're not immoral. You concede that he gives those commands and ordains them throughout the Old Testament. You're just saying they are not immoral because we already all deserve eternal wrath and damnation and punishment according to Romans, according to many of the epistles in the New Testament, actually, right?
Correct.
Okay, so did I just steel man you pretty good?
Yeah.
Okay, here's the problem, dude. The New Testament is not reliable. It's a compilation of documents that is a mythology that's created post-Hellenism. We've got really poor evidence for Jesus existing, really poor evidence for Paul existing, and you'd have to get over that hump majorly before you could try to say that this is any kind of truth that you can rely on. Now, that is the big problem that you have now. So it's interesting that you just make apology for all of the terrible things that happened in the Old Testament. You just hand wave them away and you're like, trust me, bro, it's okay. That's a really bad argument.
Yeah, well, I agree. If this was like a prove that God is objectively true or exists, or prove the New Testament is objectively true, yeah, I would have to give some sort of answer for that. But you know, we talked about it last time. I start all of these conversations off acknowledging that I presuppose that everything in Scripture is true based on faith.
You're right. You absolutely did that. And I think that is where it fails, because you ultimately don't have truth to stand on. All you have is your opinion and this subjective thing that you decide. So you're a Yankees fan. This is why you hate the Red Sox, because you're a Yankees fan. Why are the Red Sox suck? Because I'm a Yankees fan. It's just this thing that you chose to do, that you chose to believe in. And the only reason why I even get fiery is when you get on panels like this and you tell Crystal that she might not have a good relationship with her children because she's not raising them the same way that you think you're raising your children. Those are the types of things that get disgusting, because you come on and you act like you do have the truth. But then when we try to hold your feet to the fire on it, you say, well, I don't actually have the truth. I said
I
from the beginning it was all based in faith.
Hold on.
No, you don't. It's all based on faith. And
Wait,
faith
Zach.
isn't truth. It's not. No, don't Zach. I'm talking.
Well,
I think
he
you
was
forget
talking,
who
okay.
runs this show. I don't care. Zach knows that if I talk, that it's my turn.
That's right. I want to hear Crystal.
So I'm sorry, Hutu, but that just doesn't fly anymore. Dugal's been waiting very patiently. Dugal, what did you want to say? I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I just wanted to follow up with before. So based on what you admitted with me, you now are telling me that the women that have been, we have a friend named Ria who does a podcast about heinous beliefs about people who harm their children and family and people around them because they believe so fervently, like you do, that their God commanded them to do so. The Christian God, by the way. And so that means you're telling me all of those things are excused. They're fine. You're okay with it. Those women shouldn't have been punished for what they've done. And that you would do it too because you share the same belief, because you make that presupposition. This is why Christians are dangerous and a harm to society. Fuck
Never
your
said
God,
any of that.
fuck your Jesus, fuck all of it.
So
Wait,
I have
Never said any of that.
Wait, Dugal.
It was a very emotional response based on nothing I said.
Okay, so Dugal, can you point out what he said when he said it? I want you two to finish working this out, and then Benny go.
Because before you admitted that if you would do, every time God gives you a command, it is right and just and you should follow it. and you were basing it on your pure belief. I gave you examples of people having their experiences with God. You said that those would be true then because
I
it's
can't verify that.
You said earlier it was true.
I can't verify
You said
anybody else's
earlier it was
experience
true
with God.
because otherwise you'd have to discount it.
I cannot verify anyone else's experience with God.
Right. But you still
You don't
nonetheless
have
said
truth.
that
You don't have
based on
objective
it
truth.
being their faith, it would be true.
If
So
God
you were
actually
saying
did that,
the
which
same
I do
thing.
not know. If God has actually given someone else a command, I do not know.
Right, which is why I'm saying when I said before, and we already talked about this and you agreed to it, if you thought that your God gave you a command, you would do it. And you tried to say beyond shadow of a doubt, but you don't even have proof for the God in the first place to be able to say you had no shadow of a doubt.
Right,
You
which
just
is
have
why
a belief. Hold on. You just have a belief that he would have told you to do something. And you said you would follow the command, even if it was one of the ones that are depicted in these scriptures.
not if I thought,
So
if
that
I
is what you're
knew.
telling me.
I'm telling
By
you,
saying that is what you're saying.
No. This is a hypothetical. So let me just make it very clear what I believe and where I
Which
stand.
that could no, the point is that could happen at any time. You could
Right,
wake up
to
tomorrow.
God.
Hold on. You could wake up tomorrow, have what you thought is a vision from God that tells you to unalive people or grape people or
Wrong.
whatever, and you just admitted you would follow it if you believed fervently it was your God who commanded it.
Can I cut in
Wrong.
just okay? So I have
Yeah,
an
go
actual
ahead, Benny.
story here. Back in 2008.
Wait, Crystal,
does
do
it-
you want me to respond to Dugald?
Well, hold on. This is just
not-
adding
not
to
yet.
it, anyways.
He's
Okay.
just adding to it real
So
quick.
you
He wants
want them to
be,
talk at me,
Who
not have
to?
a conversation.
Who to?
This
Benny
adds
has
to
been
it.
waiting a while. Just a minute, Benny. Let me deal with him for a second. Who to? Benny has been waiting just to add this example of this story to what you guys are talking about. If you continue on, we'll get past that and he won't get to share. He's just going to share this story and then it is your turn to go. Go ahead. Benny.
Maybe this like kind of clears things up, like, you know, in your view, or showing how Dugald, like what Dugald means. So have you ever heard of Vince Lee? Vince Lee was in 2008. Vince Lee was a man that was on a bus in Canada who heard God talking to him directly. And God told him to unalive the person next to him because he was an alien and that he needed to unalive him to stop an alien invasion. This guy, Vince Lee, was religious. He was Christian. He believed this to be God. He beheaded the man next to him, and the horror, like abject horror of everybody around him. I think it ended up being like a 12-hour like standoff thing because they were in the middle of nowhere, and he was just walking up and down this bus with this head in his hands. So did he hear a God, or was he just schizophrenic?
I think he was schizophrenic.
How do you know that?
No aliens invaded
I said I
us.
think.
So maybe he really had to do that because we haven't been invaded.
Right,
So-
because I don't believe God is giving commands the same way he was in the Old Testament under
Now,
the
would
New
you
Covenant.
did.
would you
In
agree
these scenarios,
it is less
one should
dangerous
have
to be a skeptic and to question this voice and think maybe I should go see a doctor instead of just saying, oh, this is definitely the voice of my God, of my religion. I should listen to everything I'm hearing.
If you have a good understanding of the New Testament and New Covenant, you wouldn't even have to question that because it teaches so far against any hypothetical you've laid out so far.
My brother, you do not have a good understanding of the New Testament.
At all.
At all.
Okay, so y'all think that under the New Covenant, it's possible for God to give a command like you've listed in the hypothetical?
What is the New Covenant? Hold on.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, dude.
What is the New Covenant?
To love the Lord your God and to love your neighbor as yourself. It's
That
law
is
of
not the
Christ.
New Covenant. That is
Yes,
not the New Covenant.
It-
The whole
What?
reason, Jesus, you all do this, and it kills me when you all do this because it tells me you have
Wait,
not
what
read
is the
this
New
book at
Covenant?
all. Hold on.
What
You're
is
not-
the New
hold on.
Covenant?
He's
Hold on.
telling you. Who to? He's telling you. Stop.
The whole reason Jesus came down here was to sacrifice himself to purify you of your sins so that the Old Testament laws can be written on your heart. That is why he told you in his life. That is the whole reason he preached, follow the old laws, follow the old laws. Not a jot nor a tittle will be left from this earth until heaven and earth pass away. He made these proclamations. These were his teachings. So when you say that is the new covenant, you're wrong. because you're undoing the entire purpose of him coming down here, which was to put the laws of God on your heart so you would no longer have to read them or hear them from other people. You would know them because they're in you. And
Right.
that was the whole reason Jesus died, was to purify you so that those
That's
could
so
be written
silly.
on your heart.
Good to see you.
Wait, are you arguing that the Old Covenant law would be written on our heart?
Yes, all six.
Yeah, okay.
Doctor,
Yeah,
good to
that's
see
wrong.
you.
No,
Yeah,
it's not
that's-
wrong.
that's
It's
terribly
literally
wrong.
what Jesus told you multiple times.
Terribly wrong.
No, that is actually what fulfilling the law is in the New Testament. The word that's used for fulfill, it has to do with him actually doing it. But that's not even the claim that any of us, I don't think, are necessarily making. When I was saying you don't understand your New Testament document, I'm actually saying that it's simply legendary. This is all legend. This isn't real. This is as real as Hellenistic age belief in the Greek pantheon was. This is a popular religion that has become very cult-like, and you are subscribing to a very specific sect of the cult. And it sounds like, I can't remember exactly where you fall, but somewhere in a Reformed tradition, I believe, which is where I came out of as well. And you're so sure that you're right. Dude, go talk to a room full of Jehovah's Witnesses who you disagree with sharply. They're so sure that they're right and that they go back to the original church and that they know. What I'm saying is you haven't fully considered the problematic nature of where these documents came from. You haven't, because you've decided that presuppositionally that they're just true without testing them. And the scripture even says that you should test things that you believe, by the way. You haven't done that work. I'm telling you. That's the problem with the claims that you're making.
I mean, you just made a lot of claims without any evidence. Like, you tried to make a lot of
What would
claims
you like to
on.
look at? Let's look at one of them.
We made lots of claims on specifically my life and
So
what I
pick
have and
one.
have not done without
So
knowing
pick
anything
one.
about my life.
So pick
Well, I'm saying
one
that you
and
haven't
he'll
tested.
show you.
Yeah, you
Right,
want to
so-
test like the validity of the Gospels, for instance. So where they came from, dating, authorship, all of that. Have you looked into that? Do you understand the problematic nature of the origins of the gospel narrative?
Wait, do you believe that the Bible teaches that's required for salvation?
That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm not doing an internal critique now. I'm doing a critique
Okay.
of where we get the documents.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's not what I'm interested in doing.
Well, that is what I'm saying you haven't done. So it makes sense that you're not interested in doing it.
Well, sure. Yeah,
So
I'm
you're
not.
proving
I'm not
him right that his
That's right,
claims were
Joe,
correct
right.
about you. So you just proved that he didn't lie about his claims, that they were accurate. That's what you just did.
No.
Yeah, you did.
No, he made
We
the
all
claim
can
that I
see
don't
it.
understand
You're
what
the
the New
only one who
Covenant
can't
is.
see it. No, he made
made-
lots of claims, and one of them was that you have not done enough research on these gospels in order for you to competently sit up here enough to tell us what they mean, what they say. You don't know. You don't understand their
Oh, I
authorship.
absolutely can tell you what
when
they
they
mean
were-
and what they say. I don't know
No,
when
you
they were
can't-
all
you
written.
can't. Not if you don't
specifically.
understand the history of them. You cannot.
Oh, you absolutely can. And that's
No,
why
you
I,
can't.
I, that's why
I
I
wouldn't
asked.
listen to you because you're uneducated.
Well, I know
and
you wouldn't
ignorant,
listen to you wouldn't
willfully
listen
so.
to anyone. You
Whoa.
wouldn't listen to
yes,
your
I
doctor
would.
if you went
I
into the
listen to
doctor's
people
office
all
to
the
ask some
time.
questions.
Not true. Don't make claims
What
you
are you
can't
talking
substantiate.
about? I do listen to my doctor. I've had cancer. I'm a survivor. Obviously, I listen to my doctor.
Crystal is an incredible listener. Too. That's a ridiculous thing you just said. And I understand you're getting a little hot behind the ears, and you've got a lot of people here who are speaking out against you. And I commend you for staying in the conversation, by the way. But the fact in the matter is that I'm not questioning your ability to do the semantic gymnastics that's required to make apology for your sect of Christian belief. What I'm saying is that you haven't considered outside of that. I'm saying that you don't understand the problematic nature from which your texts come from. And that's where it falls apart for me personally. You haven't addressed those at all. All you're doing is making claims from the internal, from an internal critique standpoint. And that's what you're trying to engage with us in. You're trying to look at it internally. And I'm trying to say, that's fun to do, but at the end of the day, it kind of gets like who can beat up Hulk or Thor. That's what we're doing.
And that's because you rely on a human being's ability to fully under everything laid out in Scripture and to be able to give an answer for everything, such
Well,
as
and
where
you're
it came from.
So do
Right,
you.
and I
You're-
disagree
You
with
just
that.
think there's
Well,
some
no.
other ability.
You're relying on human beings writing of something. And you're not even testing the things that they've written, brother. You're not even testing the things they've written. You're just listening to your favorite apologists and regurgitating those things. We've heard it all. And what I'm telling you is that you're not considering, I do care about what humans think. I am a human. I do care about that. I don't think that's wrong. You're saying you care about what God thinks, but here's the thing. God is a construct of the human mind. It's a construct of your mind. The God that you believe in doesn't exist. It's imaginary. And you are trying to say that God is helping you see the truth in Scripture, and yet you can't back that up at all. Because when we try to actually take you to task on the origins of said Scripture, it falls apart dramatically. You can't even engage with it.
Right. So here's what's interesting is you're trying to use that as the end all be all for, if I can answer these questions, right? If I had a biblical scholar in here who knew way more than you'll ever know in your entire life, and he would give you the answers for all of that, you would still tell him that God doesn't exist.
We know
but even that doesn't do anything for you.
We know lots of biblical scholars. I was on the path of biblical scholarship. I've written papers.
Right. Here's my point.
No, listen to me. You're stepping into my training.
Listen to me for a minute. My friends are biblical scholars. That's who I hang around. In case you didn't know, my friends are rabbis. My friends are biblical scholars. I have been on panels with Dr. Joshua Bowen. Rabbi Hannah is a doctor. Dr. Amy Cook is sitting right up there with you. I use scholar, no, she's not a biblical scholar, but I'm telling you that I talk to professionals, PhD level, biblical scholars, historical archaeologists, fucking astrophysicists.
And you still think God doesn't exist?
That's my point. Why I think God doesn't exist. Because
that's my point. That's my point to Zach is he could have Wes Huff in here and he would still tell Wes God doesn't exist.
Wes Huff's an idiot.
Having that biblical, the knowledge of where these writings came from, things like that, that's not ultimately going to do anything for you.
Because it's problematic. Yeah, you're right. It really will harm.
They would disagree.
No, they would.
Well,
Wes Huff, I'm deep on Wes Huff, by the way, and I'm deep on Dr. Joshua Bowen. I'm deep on Bart Ehrman. I'm deep on text critics because that was my field. So it's funny that you're bringing Wes Huff up. You're showing your cards. You listen to a few select biblical scholars who agree with your position, and you're trying to say that that's scholarship or something, and that's ridiculous.
No, not at all.
Who have you read? Who can you name and who have you read and actually really fully considered, read a full book that disagrees with your position? Who's at the same level as Wes Huff? No, name one.
I don't think you're hearing the argument I'm making. I'm saying if you had people who could answer those questions, you still wouldn't believe. It would do nothing for you.
Don't
Crystal,
put me
respectfully,
on the spot,
I wasn't
Zach.
talking to
Don't
you,
do that.
Crystal,
Respectfully, I don't care. I'm the host. Respectfully, I don't care. I'm the host.
That's right. I defer to Crystal always. That's a bad move. But
I know you do.
Okay. Interesting. You're really showing your cards, man. I get it. It's uncomfortable. You're not among friendlies here, but I have listened deeply to Wes Huff. In fact, Wes Huff started to sway me back during my deconstruction. I was desperately searching for someone to help me understand the origins of Scripture and continue to retain their divine nature that I believed that they had. And the more that I unpacked it, the more I realized how deeply problematic that was. So you're wrong. If I did, in fact, I've said this in many of my debates. I'm like, look, I'm genuinely open to being proven wrong on this. And if I could somehow have my faith restored that the Scripture really was divinely inspired and it really came from God and there were no internal inconsistencies, I would change my mind. I don't think you would change your mind. I don't think you're having a good faith conversation where if you examine the evidence that you would. So you're accusing me of the very thing that you're perpetrating right now, which is ridiculous.
No. You once again proved what I'm saying is you are looking for some human discovery or objective fact that's going to convince you of something that is clearly laid out in Scripture is only going to be followed through faith.
There's not much clearly laid out in Scripture, and here's what I'm trying to say.
Wait, do you think that the Scripture teaches that blessed are those who have not seen yet believe?
Listen to me. I don't think the Scriptures are dependable for truth because of
that's not what I asked.
nature.
That's not what I asked.
I'm telling you.
You're running from the question.
I'm not running from the question at all. I know Scripture teaches that. I know what
Okay.
Scripture teaches very well.
Then why are
I could
you
preach a
looking
sermon
for
on it.
answers outside of what the Scripture even says?
Because when something makes a claim, you need to test whether that claim is accurate or not. It's the same reason I don't believe Muhammad split the moon in two, because I think the Quran is deeply problematic, and I don't believe its claims. Do you
Right.
believe its claims?
So you
Do you believe the Quran's claims? Do you believe the
hold on.
Quran's claims?
Before we go there, you acknowledge that the Scripture teaches there's nothing that is objectively going to be able to convince someone that God exists other than faith. You acknowledge that. Yet you are waiting and searching for something that contradicts that might be able to sway you into believing it. That doesn't make any sense.
Because that's a culty claim. That's the king's clothes. That's the king's clothes, and all faiths make similar
claims.
Listen to me. No, not you. Scripture. You're not listening to me. Scripture's claim. Scripture's claim is deeply problematic.
It's just
Of course it is. Of course it is. It is a culty belief that will keep you in. It's just like the king's clothes analogy, and we see this with all types of different faiths and all different scriptures that you could point to that support other faiths. So what you have to do, as you would agree, is look at the text and see if it's dependable. You don't believe in the Quran for a number of reasons. I don't believe in the Bible for similar reasons. You haven't done that same work when it comes to the claims that are made in Scripture. You just decided that they're true. And then you're trying to point to things in the Scriptures to say, well, see, that's the nature of how it's supposed to be. And it's like, well, dude, that's so problematic. It's circular reasoning. You're proving the Bible with the Bible. You're not actually testing it. And then you look at me and say, well, why would you even do that?
Yeah, you made a claim that's actually super interesting. That
because the Scripture says for itself that you can't do it that way.
Yeah, so what's actually kind of surprising is you made a claim that listening to West Huff was something that almost, in a way, like, I don't know exactly what you said, but kind of brought you back to the faith. It almost brought you back to it.
Before you build on
that concerns me that
before you build on that,
if some other human being's words or thoughts was bringing you back to Christ, I would have a concern that your understanding of what it means like to live with Christ is flawed. If you think some other human's going to be able to convince you, not what I said.
So God doesn't use human voices? Oh my God, Hutu, that is ridiculous.
That is the most insane thing.
Not what I said.
Here, then? Yes, you did.
Not what I said.
If Wes
you didn't let me finish.
What if God had called him out there? What if God had called Wes Huff?
You didn't let me finish.
Let me finish now. What if God had called Wes Huff to go out there and talk to? You're going to be dropped if you keep unmuting while I'm talking. Okay, bye, you two. I've got other people waiting. I don't know why you do this every time. You are not the star of this show. I know it really bothers you mogs that women have their own shows and their own voices and that we get to talk. But to say that Wes Huff might not have as a Christian, I would have thought, oh, really, Zach? Like, Wes Huff almost brought you back. In my mind, I would have been like, oh my God, that means Wes Huff, is called by God, and he almost reached you. And this guy here is saying that the fact that God used a man and you almost got called back by it shows that you don't know about Christianity. It makes me think he doesn't know about Christianity and how it works.
This is why I always say it. People who have blind faith and especially people who are divine command theorists are the most dangerous people in society. They're sleepers. One day they will wake up, have an epiphany, and somebody gets hurt.
Right. And if I had said, oh, Wes Huff brought me back, then he would have been like, see, there you go. Like, he would have been all excited about that. He wouldn't have said, oh, well, how dare you go on a man's word? Like, that was such a weird statement that he made. But I think I know where he was going. And the problem is that he just made
Why did he want us to listen to Wes Huff if he doesn't think Wes Huff can bring people back? Why was he asking us to listen to Wes Huff?
He's the one who brought Wes Huff in the first place. And I'm sitting here like, look, I've considered Wes Huff deeply. And here's the thing. Wes Huff talks out of both sides of his mouth. Some of the things that he says simply aren't true. He even had to make apology about one of the things that he said on Joe Rogan, which was one of the things that started to win me back, by the way. And he made this ridiculous claim that there were no discrepancies from the Masoretic text to the Dead Sea Scrolls.
And he even had to come back and say, okay, that statement wasn't very fair. But like that moment was clipped and reposted so many times. And Joe, like, wow, no differences. Yeah, virtually no difference. He didn't even say virtually, he just said 0 differences. And it's like there were massive differences. In fact, there was a whole passage that was added in one place in Isaiah that changed the meaning of the sweep of that passage. And so it's like, what a ridiculous statement that he made. And then there have been other problematic things with Wes's archaeological findings as well. And so what I'm trying to say is, in a desperate attempt to try to reconcile all of these things, I've done the work to really try to give a fair shake to.
It is a sound cut out for everybody else.
Scripture and to the things that I was seeing were
You cut out there for a second.
haven't done the work. And it's like, dude, you haven't done the work.
Zach, you cut out.
Sorry, what's that?
You cut out twice. We couldn't hear some of what you said.
Sorry about that.
Oh, sorry.
I think Zach was saying that he's put in the work, and it's not very kind of another person to say you haven't put in the work when it's very obvious that Zach has, among others that have put in the work and only come out less faithful.
Who hasn't?
Right. But to be fair, this man also said it's fine for women to be raped. So are we really surprised?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's out from the get.
You guys, I want to first welcome Dr. Amy Cook to the panel. Good morning, Amy. How are you today?
Good morning. I'm good. And the only thing I'm left with from a conversation like that is anybody who could think that faith is a good reason to organize your worldview doesn't know anything about psychology or brains, because we're notoriously unreliable. So
And
you're gonna have to give me facts. I need facts. And if I'm an atheist and I'm God shopping, this one is not turning out that good. That's all I can say.
Yeah.
And can you confirm something for me if I read correctly? Doesn't religious belief also show up as like lesions or scarring?
Well, certain versions of it will. But it's also, this is far beyond what we want to talk about, but it's got evolutionary roots in binding us. So we just kind of have this mythical thinking because we had to have it to stay alive. And it's up to us to really examine it with, all the tools we have now. And all of science, all of psychology, all of evolution just points away from it. And
that makes so much more sense. Doesn't that make so much more sense? It gives me, like, when you say that, it gives me this, like, sigh of relief, because it's like, of course that's it.
Yeah, it had a function, like, and I won't go into it now unless people super delve, and that's not the topic today, but it had like a reason, it had a function, just like a lot of the things that our brains do from Savannah days, and we identify them, we know that they're there, we counter them, and religion is just one of those as well.
Well, this one's been like a damn stick in our side for fucking centuries now. How do we deal with that?
Yeah.
Well,
Usually,
I want to
examining the text. Oh, sorry.
Guest.
Yeah.
That's okay. I want to introduce our next guest so we can get on to the next topic. Zach, I do want to say this. Before you even try to leave, I need to hear your impression on my laugh. But Jordan, welcome to the panel. Today's topic is, if Yahweh were a king, would you excuse his behavior?
A king?
Yeah, if he was just a king and not a god.
Would I excuse... he is a king. And yes, I do.
No, I mean, he's just a king on earth. He's not a god. You would be okay with what he does?
What kind? Just like a normal human? No.
Yes, yes, he's just a normal human king. I don't know how else to put this. No superpowers, not the creator, no omniscience, nothing. He's just a king on earth. Would you accept the things that he tells people to do? Would you be okay with it?
No, I don't think so.
Then why do you accept it from him? Do you just believe in divine command theory?
I think the creator of the universe has different responsibilities.
Okay. Who would like to talk with Jordan next? Benny, did you want to talk?
Sure. You think the creator of the universe has responsibilities, which is kind of different from what the last guy just said.
Different responsibilities.
different response, like any responsibility is kind of what I was trying to say, though, is like, so do you think God is responsible at all for anything?
Do you mean guilty? I mean, he's
Responsible, liable.
liable seems like guilt, or like, you know,
The
I guess, sure, yeah.
onus
What? Okay,
falls
what's your point?
upon his hands or on ours.
What does what fall on
The
his arm?
responsibility. Okay. So the last guy was just trying to say that who are we but to, like question God's will, and basically saying that we are not responsible, nor is, or like we are more responsible than God. God holds no responsibility. He ordains, he does these things, but truly it's our choices and our sin nature that the responsibility lies within, which is why we need saving. So you are saying that God has multiple responsibilities or other responsibilities. So I'd like to find out, like, what do you mean by that?
Yeah, I would say a king on earth generally is supposed to like keep order and enforce justice, but I think God as the creator lets bad things happen. Clearly, he could intervene, like if somebody says a bad word, he could like prevent that. Like God could hypothetically intervene in every single situation and prevent all suffering, but clearly, as the creator, I think there's a purpose. I think there's a greater good for him allowing the suffering temporarily that wouldn't apply to a human king. I think a human king has like a responsibility to stop all of the suffering, as much suffering as he possibly can, but I think the creator doesn't.
So do you think that there are things that are with like outside of God's power?
Yeah, I mean, like he can't lie. He
Okay.
can't do
Okay.
something stupid.
Yeah, I'm just trying to follow your logic here, because like to me, if you are the creator and you are, able to intervene, you could actually not let the like situation itself happen. Like say God could have intervened when Eve was about to eat the fruit, or God could have just not put the tree there,
Yeah, I would say if you're a king, you would have the obligation to like stop her from eating the fruit. But as God, there's clearly a point. There's clearly a reason why he put the tree there. There's clearly a reason why he let them eat. I would say it's necessary. I think it's
How do we
necessary.
know
And
it's not
you
just
could,
that he's evil? How do we know that it's not just that this God actually is evil and he did all that because he's just having fun? He just enjoys fucking with people.
how do we know? I don't know if we
Yeah,
can
how do
really
we know?
know, but I mean, aren't you guys are you guys not accusing him, right? Like, I think it's good to be open-minded. Like, maybe it is evil, maybe it's not. Maybe there is a greater reason, maybe there isn't. I think that's fair. But when you start saying, no, there's definitely no greater good for the suffering, it's impossible that there's a greater purpose. That's where I don't agree. Like, I think no, there could be a reason. I actually think there is a reason.
I'm just trying to
I mean,
imagine
Jesus was
what
crucified, so
I'm
he's a
trying to
cakewalk.
imagine what this greater good could be. Like with all the cost that I'm aware of, like say like the the hollow cost. I didn't mean to like make like a weird word play there, but at that, just that alone, what good could be worth that price?
I mean, I can give my answers, but you probably won't agree with them. But I'm curious, do you think it's even possible? Are you even
Oh,
open-minded that there could be?
yeah, I am open minded. I'm just trying to understand like what do you think would be like a good enough reason to have such a horrible thing happen?
Okay, so you are open-minded. I mean, a lot of people aren't open-minded at all about that. I bet a lot of people would disagree with you in here that like it's even possible there's a greater good, you know? So, I mean,
I don't like to speak in absolutes. So like sure. I mean there perhaps they all come back to life in some other realm called heaven, like something like that.
I'll
the way I think
explain
about
how I feel, Jordan, about it because just so you know, atheist. Oh, okay. Thank you, Ova. I think I don't believe that. I believe with just as much accuracy that Scientology is not real, and that I could prove it. I believe that this Bible is not real, and I could prove there's too many contradictions, too many errors, too many anachronisms for it to be true. That being said, if we just throw out the Bible and all that and say, is it possible there's a God and he's doing all this stuff and he has some greater good? I still believe that it is not the best way he could have done any of this, and he's a fucking idiot.
Yeah, like a little taste of the
Are you
greater
sure?
good
Like,
would
are
be
you
nice.
100% sure?
Yeah.
I don't think
I'm
anybody would
100%
be.
sure that he is a fucking idiot if he thinks this, he has all the omnis and this is the only way he could do this shit, and he also is loving and cares about human life. Those things are contradictory. You can't be all loving and cause this much suffering to life and be all powerful. All those things cannot be true.
Okay,
Yeah.
so you disagree with Benny.
Yes, I often disagree with Benny and Dugald and Amy. We are not one mind.
Right.
We are several minds.
So what
We're
I'm trying
not
to say
univocal.
is like, so say there is this God, there is this greater good, and then maybe that's where faith comes in, right? Is that horrible things have to be done for this greater good, even though we don't know quite what this greater good is. We have to take that based on faith, right? Like we just have to trust that there is a reason, which to me sounds like more coping than anything.
I can give some suggestions for reasons.
Sure.
One reason that I keep coming back to is just like your worldview, the world where all of the suffering is unnecessary and just like completely arbitrary and meaningless. Like that's just like an absolute nightmare for me. Like I don't even want to go there. You know, it's like, of course I want to believe there's a greater
room
purpose.
with a family that's just lost a child and without telling them.
Right. Right. And you would tell them like, yeah, it was completely meaningless, didn't have to happen. There's no reason.
He's a rabbi. No, he wouldn't, Jordan. He's a rabbi.
Yeah, I think that the problem is the issue is absolutism and not understanding that meeting people where they are is a far healthier approach to being a human being than dictatorial or it's a really weird way to approach being a person.
Yeah, like my mom's
Okay.
going through chemo right now, and I like assure her that like whatever she wants to believe, you know, I don't try to sit there and be like, no, mother, like this is all just pish posh, because I do understand that, you know, like psychologically you can do things somatically with your body. Your brain can help you heal. It's more than just, you know,
Tiny.
What's the word? Sugar pill effect. I can't think of the word.
It's more than placebo.
Yeah, there you go.
Like imagine a child suffering with cancer and then they're like, you know what, I'm going through pain, but I believe there's a greater purpose for this. And ultimately it's going to be worth it and it's going to be okay. And then an atheist comes in and is like, no, there is no God. Nothing happens.
That's not what we say, Jordan. That's not what we say.
There's no
so
purpose.
You're just projecting your bullshit that you have in your head because you can't understand a life without a God on what you think people who don't believe in God is. I believe that if, by the way, I'm a cancer survivor. I believe I can find my own purpose in that. I don't believe there is some ultimate greater purpose in the fact that I survived cancer. That's fucking narcissistic as fuck if I thought that. I do believe that I can find purpose for it in my own life. And one of them has been to remind all of my friends out there to use sunscreen because you don't want skin cancer. Okay. So, I believe I can find purpose in the things that I go through. I do not believe that my purpose necessarily has some greater meaning for all of fucking humanity.
Right. It's just kind of like arbitrary, unnecessary, meaningless.
No,
pointless.
I just told you what it was. It's not meaningless to me now, is it? You just
Okay, what's the
decided
meaning
to
of
go,
it then?
I'm going to fucking ignore what she just said. I'm not going to listen to her because she's a woman. I'm going to turn off my fucking ears when she talks, and then I'm going to straw man her again incorrectly. No, I'm not repeating myself. You're a cunt, and I'm not doing it.
So it's not, meaning is what you make of it, right? So we put meaning towards things. There's no other. I mean, as an atheist, there is no other like thing that I could think of. The universe itself works algorithmically. There's no, ifs, ands, or buts. There's no really rhyme or reason, right? I am like totally subscribed into like chaos theory. I think that that's probably the most succinct answer to why everything happens the way it does. And
You said there's no point, so it's pointless. Your cancer is pointless.
the point is
okay?
the point is
That's
the
not
meaning
what I
you put
said.
into it. The point is what you put into it. It's whatever point you want it to be.
Because my purpose, my desire is to make people better and have a better society where we have less or no oppression or bigotry or racism. These kinds of things. These are things I advocate to solve. So you sitting there saying, "Oh, it has no meaning," just because we don't believe in your God. That's a silly statement to make. We have things we care about and have purpose in. Just because you can't fathom that because we are absent your God doesn't make things purposeless. None of us are going to sit there and tell grandma, "Hey, your cancer is meaningless." None of us are saying that. None of us are doing that. That
You're
would be
saying it's
inhumane.
unnecessary.
That would be inhumane. But
Nobody's saying
do we
that.
think her cancer has a purpose? No. It's a fucking disease that happens. It's a random mutation of cells in your body that happens, and it's been happening since the goddamn dinosaurs.
It also seems to me that, a purpose I decide myself has so much more meaning than one assigned to me that I passively must accept by some, book or history I adopted. Like your meanings
What's
are
your
assigned to
purpose?
you. Your purpose is assigned to you. That doesn't sound very, pleasing to me.
Yeah, what's your purpose, Jordan? What did God give you? What did he tell you in all your holiness? What is your purpose?
And they all say the same thing. My purpose is to serve God. Well, every single one of them
I
has the
want to
same
hear.
purpose.
I want
So
to hear.
boring.
I want to hear.
Yeah,
What is
yeah,
your
what is it?
purpose? What is it?
Yeah, so there's a golden city in the sky, right?
Mm-hmm.
And Jesus is building like a community in heaven, basically.
Yeah. Okay,
and
that's
we'll have
Jesus'
free
purpose. What's
food.
yours, Jordan? I haven't heard yours
Well,
yet. What's
I'm
your
helping
purpose
him
here
out.
on Earth? What are you doing
I'm
here?
inviting
'Cause
you to the
all
city.
I've
It's gonna
ever
be a good
seen
time.
you do is be a fucking asshole to people, and because of it, a lot of people have turned away from Christ because of you. A lot of people actually watch clips of you and go, "Oh fuck, that's why I'm not a Christian." So what is
There's
it
clips of
exactly
me. I want
that
to see
you're
them.
doing?
I'm sorry.
Go
An
look.
eternity with Christians sounds like misery to me. No, thank you.
Oh
Your
my
purpose is
God.
helping him build a city? What is that everybody's purpose? All y'all
And
Christians have the same
healing
purpose?
the
Really
world.
fucking stupid. You're not healing anything. You've
You
harmed
all have
people.
literally
Literally
caused
harmed
nothing.
people.
You guys have caused nothing but literal harm, destruction, enslavement, colonizations, cultural societies, erasures, G-sides, goddamn, you all have committed so many atrocities in the name of this God for 2,000 years now. Are you fucking
And
kidding
you
me?
personally have actively harmed people because I watched you insult people. I watched you apologize for atrocious crimes. You personally, Jordan, have harmed more people than you have helped in this lifetime.
Okay, can you give an example?
Yeah, when you say atrocious things up here. I'm not going to go find the
like
clips
what?
for you. You go search clips of yourself. Go Google yourself.
So I think it's harmful to say like my mom's cancer, that there is a purpose behind it. I think that is harmful, because that means that for some reason God, you could say it's a good reason or a bad reason, but he chose her to suffer through this portion of her life, and other people that may not be as good of a Christian, if I may say, do just fine, so like her suffering is a blessing, I guess. I just find that harmful.
Yeah, I think that's a lot better than like it's unnecessary. Hey mom, this didn't need to happen. There's no reason. There's no good reason for it. Like I just don't like that worldview. It's just depressing to me. Don't you think?
It's
well, just
uncomfortable with reality.
because something makes you feel uncomfortable uncomfortable doesn't mean you have to go into a delusion and make up something, okay? Nick, I don't want to bring any more people up here right now because I was trying to only have 2, but I'm just keeping it as low as possible. But if other people jump down, I'll bring some other people up and we'll switch
Yeah, I'll
this
jump
out in a little
down.
bit.
I'll jump down for Nick in a little bit.
Are you sure? Okay. It's up to you guys, but I just want to kind of keep it smaller. Yeah, I'm sorry. I lost my train of thought. Now that I did that,
Well,
ADHD.
Well,
Benny,
I think he was just saying that like he'd rather there were a purpose for a cancer than just accumulated and
Yeah,
no purpose. I like that's
that's
disturbing
right.
to me. Like I can handle life events being, sometimes just you're against luck. I don't want there to be some purpose. Like God gives you cancer so you can. How can you defend that?
yeah, I mean, so you guys are saying you think it's unnecessary. Benny thinks it's possible it could be net. Benny's open-minded, right?
That's
And so I
Benny
was just
though.
listing
That's Benny though.
one reason out of a few that I have for
You
why I
said
think
you'd
it could
rather
be,
cancer had a
or what.
purpose, Jordan. You said you'd rather believe it had a purpose.
Absolutely,
That's
yeah. Your world sounds like a nightmare to me,
nefarious.
What
That's
purpose?
nefarious.
What
where it's just like
purpose?
arbitrary, meaningless suffering
That's
for
so
no
weird.
reason. There's
What
no
No,
hope
is?
it's
in the
not.
future.
It's not
Cancer
no
just
reason.
happens,
It does. These things happen for actual reasons, and when we find out what causes them, we learn about it, and we are able to find ways to prevent it from happening in the future. Use sunscreen. Make sure you're in the shade, cover up. You guys really do that. We find these things out, but if we go, oh, it has a magical purpose, then we do nothing to find out what we need to do to prevent it from the future. Okay, Benny, I love you. And tell your mom I love her too, and say hi to Seth, and give everybody hugs and kisses. Grant, I see you in there too. I'll get to you soon, okay?
Yeah, I'm not saying
Hey,
we should
Nick.
stop like cancer research.
Hi, girly. Good to see your face.
Why wouldn't you though? It has a greater purpose. Why the fuck would we need cancer research? There's a greater fucking purpose.
I mean,
It
the
all
sooner
has a
we
greater
die, the
purpose.
faster we get to that fancy city, right? I don't understand the conflict
Because
you have
we
here.
need gold in heaven. Because heaven, we need gold. Because that's like, what the fuck? I have to go live in Trump's fucking toilet? What the fuck?
I
It's
just
transparent.
wanted to come up quick because he kind of was able to skid himself out of a question earlier, and I actually really, really want to hear him answer it. So they were talking in terms of horrific suffering with an omni-god that has no long-term better reasoning or long-term goals. And what was brought up was the Schmolocaust. And you said you could come up with you had some ideas as to why the Schmolocaust could have been good in the long run. And I would really like you to answer what it is you think was good that came out of that.
I don't know. I don't know.
Why'd
And
you
it was
say
bad.
you thought
Obviously, it
you
was
could
bad,
come
but
up?
it's good that bad.
Why did
It's a
you
greater
say?
good that bad things happen.
Okay, what
That's
is
what
the
I'm saying.
greater
It's still
good
bad.
for the Schmolocaust?
Hey, welcome in, CBJ Raiders.
I mean,
Welcome in,
Nick,
you guys. We
are
love
you
you.
even
Thank you
open-minded?
for joining.
I want to know what the
I mean, what's the
greater
point? You're just
good
gonna hate
for
on everything
the
I say, right?
What?
You're not even open-minded to the idea that there could be.
No,
Yeah, there's
because
Jared.
She's making
so
me
have
defend
you
it.
ever
So why are
read
you
the
asking?
book?
Why are you asking?
Hold on. Have you ever read the book Night by Eli Wiesel?
I don't know. Maybe in high school,
He
actually.
goes into depth of how truckloads of infants and children's bodies were thrown into burning pits. And
Yeah.
I really, so I see, and my son's great grandfather was also a Schmolocaust survivor. So I really, really want to know what you could possibly fathom could be of any good that came out of it.
I'd be curious also, personally.
Do you think people in general look back at the events of World War II and learn from it?
Do they? Have they learned from
They
it?
haven't learned from it because we're doing it all over again.
Seen
And
our
Nobody
country?
has?
live.
Have you seen our country?
You're telling me nobody learned from it?
No, because it's happening all over again in real time.
Literally happening in our own
Okay.
government right now.
Trust me, I know, I see it, but that doesn't mean that nobody
so
learned.
Here's the thing. There are two lessons to learn from the Holocaust. One is
Hey, how dare you? That's something good that came out of it. There's nothing good that can come out of it.
Buddy, stop. There are two lessons that people should have learned from the Holocaust. One is that the world has a tendency to blame Jews for all of its problems. That's the first lesson of the Holocaust. The second lesson of the Holocaust is that supremacy is wrong, and that the fight against anti-Semitism is in reality the fight against all forms of hate. Those are the two lessons of the Holocaust.
What should be, unfortunately.
Yeah, right. That's what should be.
So I would really like to know, because you were going to explain something and then the conversation got turned. So what was originally on your mind, Jordan? What were you going to say before the conversation turned?
I don't know. I don't know what you're talking about.
The greater good of the Schmolocaust. You were going to say something.
He doesn't want to say it now, Nick, because he realized the man above him is a rabbi, and now he doesn't want to say his anti-Semitic thing because Rabbi Bert is above him. What the fuck is going on here?
So many
I
assumptions.
can go below you if you'd like, if it's better. I can go down below you if you want. Would it make you feel better?
Yeah, he's fine with being a bottom if you want to be a top.
So many assumptions.
Just because I hear Christians on the daily basis.
Sorry, I was didn't have a headset on, so
saying that there is a greater good.
No problem.
For horrific atrocities in this world, with
Yeah, like
some
the
omni
crucifixion.
God watching. So
yeah, I
I
saw the
want to
message.
know what those
Wait, which one?
are.
Let me see, just a second. There's a couple.
Yeah,
I'm
so
sorry, I think she's on a call. I don't know if
Oh,
she knows
good.
she's up here.
I think one is a learning. I think, Rav admitted that we learned from it, right?
No, I
think
said those are the two opportunities. I would argue you would have to demonstrate that those lessons were learned in order to, and I would say based on, just as Dugald was saying, based on the realities that are happening in this country, based on the way that Jews are being treated around the world, based on the copious amounts of violence that is being executed, it is very clear that these lessons, to me, have not been learned in any way, shape, or form.
Okay, so not a single person on the entire planet that has ever lived has ever learned anything about the Holocaust, from the Holocaust.
Yeah, I think the Jewish people have certainly
That's what you're
learned that we can't trust
Ah,
anybody, and that
you said
we
nobody.
need a place where we can be perfectly safe from people like you.
Okay,
Wait.
so some people have
Wait,
learned.
Hey, you guys,
wait.
real quick, I need to say something. Hey, you guys, if you are over on the Deconstruction Junction YouTube, please make sure you head over to I Am CrystalJae and subscribe to me over there. I am 10 away from 700 subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 1,000. So if y'all can help me out, please head over to my YouTube. I Am CrystalJae, JAE, and subscribe. I appreciate it. I'm sorry, you guys, continue with the conversation.
So you're saying that the lives and suffering of millions of people is worth it because one person might have learned a lesson?
Everybody's going to learn from it.
That's fucking. This is what I said to y'all
What a
earlier.
good- what a good
Christians are
clock.
fucking disgusting people.
The Holocaust will stand as a testament for eternity to the depravity of the human heart, and it'll be a lesson
No,
for
Mom.
every single human being that has ever lived.
No, Mom.
If
No,
as a
Mom.
whole
we
we
don't
haven't
even
learned the
remember
lesson.
we haven't remembered the lessons that history has taught us thus far. There's no way that's going to happen.
Well,
And
God's
Jordan,
going to
you
make
have
sure
no way of
everybody
knowing
learns
that.
it.
Jordan, you have no way of proving anything you're saying. You're just making claims out of your ass. Okay.
You can't prove your
So
claim. You're
unless you've
claiming
got-
it's unnecessary. You can't prove that either.
I'm claiming what's unnecessary. The Holocaust.
All suffering. You're claiming all suffering is unnecessary, and you can't prove that either.
I can easily prove that to you right now, you fucking moron. Is there
Do it.
suffering in heaven?
No.
Then shut the fuck up. It's not necessary.
It could be necessary for 6,000 years, and then it's
I
not.
just
Maybe you
proved
only
to
need
you
6,000.
you're wrong. You're wrong. You're wrong.
You're saying...
Boom. Mike fucking
I mean, that's a
dropped.
silly
You
argument.
look stupid. No, it
Okay.
wasn't. You fucking look stupid.
There's
Put a one
no.
in the chat right now. If I just fucking did a mic drop on him and he looked stupid and I cooked him, put a 1 on that, okay?
Certainly very silly.
Okay, when you're done
So silly,
celebrating, can
silly.
you answer my question?
Here's the problem, Jordan. You're literally admitting that God had an alternative plan that he could have made where suffering didn't happen.
No, I'm not.
You literally did. If there's no suffering in heaven,
that's not
which
what
is
happened.
a separate place that God created, then you are telling us that he could have made an
No.
area without suffering.
Yeah, after 6,000 years. Yeah.
What?
Clearly,
why
the
you gotta-
6,000 years of the fall is necessary too.
So there's, wait a second.
So,
First of all, what
like, that's
fall
not-
where?
Huh?
What fall where? Second of all, you're saying that God is temporal and that God changes and that God has a system of change that he's employing. You have created so many problems for yourself that are your theology is probably less developed than most children's.
Great argument. Anything else?
Yeah, sure. You have a pediatric theology.
Okay, so Crystal, can you prove that the 6,000 years of suffering is unnecessary?
Yeah, there's no
Before the
suffering in
kingdom?
heaven. There's no
What
suffering in heaven.
6,000
Why does that
years?
mean the 6,000? Just because there's no suffering in heaven, that does
Because
not
if
prove
there
that the
is a
6,000
place,
years are
yes,
unnecessary.
there is. If there is a place
How?
that suffering is not necessary, then all places do not need suffering.
Can you prove that claim?
Yeah, I just did. That's a
Oh.
lot.
Really? So you're saying if God creates a universe...
If it exists and it can exist, then it should exist.
Yeah, why would I believe that claim? I think, you know...
'Cause I don't know why you
I
don't
don't get
believe
it.
it. You just sound really stupid right now. It sounds like
I
you
think
can't
it's-
follow logical thinking. It's very weird to me that you don't go, hey, wait a minute. There's a place where no suffering is going to exist and it's going to be eternal, which means that from that moment until forever, there will be no suffering. Oh, yeah. So we never needed it to begin with.
Yeah, that jump you make there, I'm not on board with that.
It's
I think
because-
it's
I know
very
you're not.
possible.
I know
It's
you're not,
because-
because you're too
Yeah.
stupid to understand. I understand.
Is that your proof? Because I'm stupid? Is
It's
that your
because
proof?
Christians love
Mine
watching
is.
people suffer. It's true. Christians love watching people suffer because it gives them a pedestal to sit on, because they're all like, well, my suffering's temporary because I am a chosen one that gets to go live in a great golden city, and all of you little fuckers
I'm
deserve
a
what you're
universalist.
getting.
Everyone's going to make it.
No,
I am.
because most of us are smart enough to know we don't want your heaven because it would be hell. Standing around
And
God's
that's not
throne.
biblical. It's not biblical.
Yes, it
Some
is.
are created
1
for
Timothy 4:10,
destruction.
God is the savior of
Some
all.
are created for destruction. Some are created for destruction.
Yeah,
So,
temporarily.
you just showed me another
Everybody's created for
contradiction. It doesn't
restoration.
say temporarily. Destruction means gone. Pumpkin.
Jordan, what
doesn't.
denomination are you? Jordan, what denomination are you?
I'm not in one.
So, do you believe in the biblical end of days rapture,
Yeah,
Antichrist?
yeah.
Okay, so
Trump.
you're
Donald Trump is the
evangelical.
Antichrist, for the record.
So you're evangelical then?
Yeah. I'm definitely not MAGA at all. I think Trump...
I
I've
never
been saying
said-
Trump is the Antichrist for 3 years.
Hold on. Evangelicals existed
If I was
long
Christian,
before
I'd agree with you.
Trump
But
even
you guys
existed.
try and make me seem like I'm some MAGA right-wing
No,
neo-Nazi.
hey, shut the
listen.
fuck up.
Jordan, I just said if I was a Christian, I would 100% agree with you. I'm not shitting you. I would be like, you are 100% right. Donald Trump is the Antichrist. He fits every fucking thing that I thought an Antichrist was. I'm not joking with you, Jordan. I don't think you're MAGA. I think you're a Christian who actually thinks the way I would have thought.
And evangelicals have been around a lot longer than MAGA or Trump has existed. So stop pivoting politically. So you say you're non-denominational, but it's obvious that you're evangelical. because you
But
have
still, you don't
evangelical
have to be
belief.
you don't have to be a denomination to be evangelical. By the way, that's not a denomination, Jordan. It's just
No.
a way of looking at the doctrine and the dogma.
Do you believe that? Oh, never mind. I'm not going to go there. So you don't believe hell exists then?
I think it's temporary.
Temporary. Where do you get that information from?
So I mean, depending on what you mean by hell, I think hell generally refers to the grave, but then the hellfire stuff, I think that's the lake of fire. And so depending on what you mean, I mean, we wait in the grave until the resurrection, and then we'll all be raised eventually, and then some people will be thrown into the lake of fire, which is a purification. It's like a refiner.
No, the lake of fire is the second death, which is soul death, meaning you poof out of existence.
I disagree.
I mean,
but that's where I find it.
I mean, when you make up your own religion, you can disagree all you want, but that's what the second death is.
Well, there's a lot of Christian universalists, and they all agree with me. So,
I mean, I don't give a shit that a bunch of you just created your own fucking religion or your own doctrine. I really don't care. I'm just correcting on you on what the lake of fire actually is. Now, whether you
there are
choose
universalist streamers on TikTok who will tell you about where everything comes from. It's very biblical.
Can I find where the lake of fire is purification? Where can I find like stuff about that in the Bible?
It's all.
Yeah, you can look at the
I
word
want him
torment.
to answer me, Jordan.
Oh.
Jordan, Nick, I want him to answer me, okay? I'm sorry, go ahead, Jordan. Where can I find the lake of fire is purification?
Yeah, so one place is Revelation 20:10 when it says torment. That Greek word for torment is basanos, and that refers to a touchstone that was used for testing the purity of metal by a refiner. And sulfur was used in gold refining back then, and they used a touchstone. They would scrub the gold on a touchstone to see if it was pure. And so the picture there is that this is like a giant
That
refining...
was a stretch. Okay, there are Christian traditions that treat the lake of fire as purification, but the interpretation is not stated in the Bible itself. The Bible only calls it a place of judgment. The idea of being purifying comes from later theology, especially Christian universalism, which is what he is. Not from the text. So we're not going to find it in the text. It was something that was post-biblical. The lake of fire appears mainly in Revelation 19 through 21 in the text itself. It describes the second death, as Nick said, in Revelation 20:14. The place where Satan, the beast, and false prophets are thrown, Revelation 20:10, and the final destination for death, Hades, and those not found in the book of life, Revelation 20:15. There is no verse that says that the lake of fire purifies or cleanses. Later Christian thinkers, especially universalists, argued God's fire equals purification in other parts of the Bible, like Malachi 3:2. He has refining fire, right? Okay, so that is why they have stretched, manipulated, bent, twisted the thing to make it work for them. It never says it.
I mean, I'm glad you brought up Malachi. That makes sense. Yeah, the refining fire is a very common
theme. Because he's not talking
theme.
about hell then. He's not talking about hell there then. You guys just added that later when universalism.
I mean, you can study universalism if you want.
I have.
You don't have to. Pardon?
I won't study further. I've already studied it. I find it ridiculous. It's not what the Bible teaches. The Bible clearly tells you that some are made for destruction. He tells you that he only came for the lost sheep of Israel. He tells you things over and over again that you don't want to hear. You only pick the verses that make you feel warm and comfy inside so that you can go to sleep at night pretending that all of this is real and it's all for good.
Rav, isn't the whole idea of like purification pretty popular in Judaism? Like, I'm pretty sure that's a common, like that's the general, I think on Chabad, the website for Chabad.
Purification by water.
Yeah, it's like they call it the spiritual washing machine with like a maximum sentence of 12 months.
Not fire. Fire is a Muslim ideology, not a Jewish one.
Well, it's in Malachi, refining fire.
Okay,
It's the
do
same
you
basic
think
concept of cleaning.
do you think God meant that he was literally going to throw people in a fire and
No, I
refine
don't.
them?
That's the thing. I
Or
think
do
it's
you
a
think
metaphor.
that was a metaphorical sentence?
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying Revelation, the whole thing. That's why I'm a universalist. It's metaphor. That's what I'm saying.
Okay,
So
you know what?
he's saying that all of it, every time God talks about his purifying fire, that it is metaphorical. And so when people are going to hell, they will be purified by the fire so that they can become a part of that weird golden city that nobody fucking wants to live in.
Do you know what else is metaphorical?
Nicer than my house.
I don't
Free
want to
food, free
live in
rent,
no
eternal life.
fucking golden city. I'll fuck it. I will stay right here in my house and I will sweat for the rest of my life. I don't want to live in that fucking Trump fucking city of yours. I don't want to. You're saying you don't like Trump, but that's what Trump would do. He would decorate fucking heaven with a golden toilet. I don't want to live there. It's fucking gross.
It's transparent gold. It's not like opaque.
You can't prove that.
gold?
You don't know shit.
What?
It
You don't know
literally says that in the
shit.
Bible. It literally says transparent gold in the Bible. Go read Revelation 21. It describes the city. It says transparent gold.
Transparent gold. You do know Revelation was actually talking about Rome, right? It was a very pissed off Jewish individual who was very, very pissed off at Rome, and he was writing revenge porn against Rome. This is biblical scholarship consensus.
Consensus.
Yes, it was about Nero, the mark of the beast. Jewish gematria 666 is Nero, and if you do it in Latin, it's 616.
It's definitely not a consensus.
It is a consensus. The Revelation was about Rome.
You guys, the book does talk about transparent gold. He's not lying. He's not wrong, okay? It's just another stupid thing that it says, okay?
It is.
So it says, the wall was built of jasper while the city was pure gold, like clear glass. So that just means that the fucking writers didn't fucking know how gold worked either, because pure gold isn't see-through pumpkin. So it just shows me another stupid thing in the Bible. It's just another stupid verse.
And it's massive. It's like 2,200 kilometers wide.
Sure.
It is huge.
How's that going to help? How's that going to fit the billions of souls?
It's a cube, so it's 2,200 kilometers by 2,200 kilometers
cube?
up, and it's a cube.
Are you Muslim?
No, it's in the Bible. Read it. Read Revelation 21. It tells you the measurements. It's a cube.
I'm bugging you. Okay.
Just like the Holy of Holies in the temple
If
was a
this
cube
hasn't
too.
happened in the last 2,000 years, it's never going to happen. You guys need to give it up already.
He's right on schedule. Irenaeus
Can
said
you guys-
that the Lord would come for the last 1,000 years.
Hang on 1 second. Granna, are you up here on purpose? You were on a call earlier and I muted you. If you are not, I'm going to drop you down.
I was just
Are you
wondering
here
if
on
you wanted.
purpose?
Yes, I was, and I'm just wondering, is this connected to something that happened earlier? Can I give a short story?
Sure, go right ahead.
Okay. You were talking about parents and making sure you clearly tell the child why to do something. So my parent did the same thing as you. My mom said, don't go in the street because you might die. And we had a busy street. And she found me playing in the street. And she comes up, she goes, why are you playing in the street? She goes, but if I die, won't I go to heaven? She's like, yes.
Aww.
And if I go to heaven, won't I see Jesus? So this is how you can mess up your children by telling
Yeah,
them.
luckily I didn't just explain you might die. Like, I didn't just leave it.
Exactly. Of
Actually,
course
my
not,
kids tell
yeah,
me
my-
that I tell them too many things. Like, they're like, oh my God, she's going to make this another lesson.
Yeah, my mom wasn't very good at that kind of stuff. So she was just like, you'll die. And so I was like, okay, I'll go die in the street.
Right?
I thought you needed a little levity
Unfortunately-
with the craziness of everything that was going on today.
Yeah.
That was all. I love you guys.
I appreciate it. Love you. Have a good day. Zach,
You too.
welcome back.
What's up?
I need a little more levity. I need to hear the impression of me now.
I tried to do a little bit of Crystal earlier and I just, that's about all. It was just like that. And
I'm a male, so I really can't do your voice justice, but that's kind of, that's what
I love it.
what I
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much.
You got
I
it.
appreciate that. That's awesome.
I also wanted to throw. I love it. You're so wonderful. You're like you're just this wonderful presence for me on TikTok. So I love you so much. And so
That's how I feel about you too.
Oh, I love
I
it.
get so I smile every time you come across my FYP.
Oh, that's so sweet. I wanted to contribute real quick too to that last thing Jordan was saying. Oh, actually, what he's saying about the cube situation, that is consistent with a reformed premillennial eschatology. We do see that kind of in the reformed tradition. That is what kind of the people in the really deep hyper reformed ivory tower theological sphere, they think they really understand exactly what's going to be happening in the end times according to Revelation, and that when the kingdom is established, it will be this kind of levitating cube that's kind of floating over Jerusalem, and all of us in our glorified bodies will be living there. And because all the walls are transparent, the Shekinah glory will be shining through. That'll be lighting everything rather than the sun. And that is consistent with what reformed evangelical American Christians believe in their
That's where the four square church comes from. From Revelations 21:6. Wait, is it 16? The city lies four square, its length the same as its width. And he measured the city with the reed, 12,000 stadia. Its length, width, and height are equal. Four square church is named after that's where they get their name.
I did not know that. That makes so much sense. Wow. But see, it still begs the question, though, the same question that I would have to Jordan is just like, why do you find that reliable? Like, what's compelling about the New Testament documents where you go, oh, no, this is truth. This is exactly what it's going to be. I think it just comes down to faith. And it's this faith that you magically got as a gift from your imaginary God. And that is problematic because it's just, it's like this self-perpetuating belief that you have, not anything that's grounded in anything real that you can verify.
I would like.
There's so many reasons. I guess this time I switch on what reason I give. Right now, I'm feeling like pointing out prayer. Like, for me, when I heard about Jesus and I read what he said, like, I really wanted to know more about it. I was drawn to it. Like, I find it fascinating. I think what he says makes a lot of sense.
Sure.
And then I read,
sorry, go ahead.
You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. Right? It's like, okay, so if you want to know, you have to seek out. Jeremiah 33, call to me and I will answer it and show you unsearchable things you do not know. That kind of thing.
Sure. Well, let me ask you, what couldn't you find by the same methodology?
I don't know.
Right? Like you could be a Muslim.
There's probably other spirits. Like I think, but
yeah, or just
why it's only one reason.
Or just other figments of your imagination.
Yeah, that's why it's only one reason. But no, I've had experiences.
What's a real reason then? Because that one is
That's one reason.
Don't you agree that you could probably hand wave pretty much any other belief system away that uses that same methodology, right? You can see what I'm saying there.
Yeah, you could be like, well, okay, why don't you seek Allah? Why don't you seek Buddha? Why don't you seek Krishna?
Right. So I wouldn't call that like a really good grounded reason to believe the things that you're purporting. So what is a good grounded reason?
Yeah, so the other reasons are, I think the Bible's the best book. And
based on what criteria?
Daniel.
Like how could that be the best book? Like in what way is
There's a lot of reasons.
And by the way, it's a collection of books with multiple authors, and some of those books are written by multiple authors trying to act like it's the same author. So what do you mean by which one is the best book in the Bible? It's a collection of, it's a library.
I think that the way it weaves a consistent story throughout like millennia is fascinating.
Consistent.
Yeah,
it's from Egypt to Babylon to the Jewish story weaves its way through history in a way that no other story does.
Well, it isn't. I love the story that it weaves as well, but I also love Harry Potter. So like, I think that there are, it's a great feat of literature, but also it doesn't weave a consistent story the way that modern evangelicalism proclaims that it does. And upon closer examination, you can see this to be the case, especially if you look at the way that Jewish people understand the Old Testament versus the way modern Christians try to understand the Old Testament. In fact, modern Christians think they understand the Old Testament better than Jewish people do, which is hilarious since the Jews are the ones who wrote it. So like, I don't understand, like when you say that, that's just a claim. There's nothing that backs up or substantiates what you said, that it all weaves one narrative together. But you saying, even if it is, let's say it's the most amazing, it's definitely the most popular book in all of human history to this point because of the amount of manuscripts, copies of manuscripts that we have in antiquity. That is amazing. And I agree with that. It's amazing. Even given that it's amazing, how do you know that it's true?
Well, I think the spiritual components is part of it, because it shows me that there is a God out there. There is a spirit out there answering my questions and revealing.
What do you mean?
himself.
Wait, what do you mean by that?
It's
Answering your question, like through the book, or like supernaturally in your own experience? What do you mean by that?
well, both, but I mean like dreams, visions. There's thousands of testimonies of people who have, I'm not expecting you to believe my
What if I
testimony.
told you that my God, who is far more ancient than yours, says yours God is full of shit?
Yeah,
And he
you can
revealed
make the
that
case
through
for
me
your
through
God if you want.
dreams and visions and everything else. What if I told you that my God said the same thing, but your God was full of shit? Then what?
Yeah, I'm not saying you should. I wouldn't believe you, and I'm not saying you should believe me.
Okay,
Well,
so it's not grounded in reality. It's just your perspective.
No, but I think if you seek God, you will find it. I think that's one reason. But then I would ask you, Nick, like, okay, make the case for your God. Why should I follow your God instead of Jesus?
Well, he's far more ancient. He was around before even Ad and I was around.
Does he have a book or anything?
Yeah, you can find him in the Enuma Elish.
Okay.
And he is the God that, said, hey, we should make humans.
Yeah, like I'm just not interested. I'm still way more interested in Jesus.
Okay, but you can't do that because you've never read the Enuma Elish. So how do you know that I'm wrong and you're right if you have never read
the highlights? What am I missing?
You're missing history, a whole lot of it.
Like what?
For example, did you know that Genesis 1 is taken from both Canaanite and Mesopotamian mythos?
Yeah.
Does he have a golden city?
No.
Oh.
That has nothing to fucking
do with Genesis 1, Jordan.
Well, I really like the golden city. So if your guy doesn't
okay,
have a
kiss
golden
my ass about the golden city. I don't want to hear about the golden city.
I'm dropping him. He stopped being genuine a while ago. Now he just wants to be weird, and I'm not into it. When you want to talk for real again, Jordan, I don't mind having you up. But now you're just being weird, and I'm just not into it. Hey, I want to correct something somebody said in chat really quick. I love you guys, and I want 100,000 likes, but I only stay an extra hour if I meet my gift goal, because unfortunately, I do have financial needs. So if I don't reach the gift goal, then I have to do other things to help with those financial needs. So, and that's okay if I don't. Gifts are not expected. They're always appreciated. Thank you, Reverend Ralph. If you are a Christian, the guest box is open. Come on up. Anyway, go ahead, you guys. Finish talking. Sorry about that.
It's pretty wild when Fredbear has to come up and be the voice of reason. I'm just saying.
What happened to Jordan? Where'd he go? I miss him already.
I dropped him.
Oh.
I dropped him
Did he-
because I was
so-
sick of that golden city.
My mom called, so I had to talk to my mom. I wanted to hear, how did he end up apologizing for the Holocaust?
Oh, I didn't know that.
He dodged it completely.
Well, that's
He
good.
dodged it.
Well, I'm glad.
When I called him out and said that he wasn't going to say anything because you were here, he just dodged it completely.
I'm so glad we learned all the great lessons that there were to learn from the Holocaust.
Wow.
Oh, by the way, can I tell you a crazy story?
He's not atheist, Jordan. He's not atheist. I tried to tell you that when you were up here. He's not an atheist.
Not an atheist. Sorry to disappoint. Okay, so I took our teens to the Catholic Center because we were doing Comparative Religion Day, and we went to a bunch of different faith organizations to kind of learn about these other traditions. And while the priest was talking to the kids, he referred to the burnt offering sacrifice, the burnt offering sacrifice. He referred to the burnt offering sacrifice as the Holocaust sacrifice without any contextual, no context, no. And I was like, okay, just so everybody knows, that's the burnt offering sacrifice that he's talking about. And so that's amazing.
The way I would have been cussing in church.
Yeah. So all of the educators looked at me, and I was like, yeah, let me just handle this for a second.
I don't know why you think he sounds atheist when he's talking about sacrifices. Jordan, you're just saying things now because you feel a little angry. And I think what you should do is probably step away, go drink some water, go think about some things that you talked about today, work on your arguments or something. Yeah. But literally the rabbi said nothing in that statement that sounds atheistic. Okay, nothing in that statement was atheistic.
I was also going to say to Jordan, it really sounds like he just picked his favorite mythology and he's just trying to comport his beliefs to that. And that's fine. As long as you're not going around trying to tell everybody that that's empirically true. It's like, okay, well, give us a good argument for why that's true. And he can't do it. And he's just, well, I just like the Golden City. It's like, okay, great, man. Like, I like Spider-Man. So, it's like, great. Cool.
Is Jordan a fucking dragon? Because all he can think about is gold. Like, what?
Yeah.
My precious.
Right.
Oh my god. So funny.
You've had some live ones today, Crystal. You've had some live ones today. We had that.
Who too?
Yeah.
It's my fault. I bring in the crazy.
Yeah. Dougal attracts the crazies.
Who too has been following me for a while. He likes to come up and fight with me. And there are days where I just cuss him out. I can't.
Yeah, it's funny. He and I really got into it. I think it was on JA. And it actually, what's cool about him is that he does start out it seems like in good faith, which is why the conversation goes somewhere. And we really did come finally down to a fundamental disagreement where it was like, okay, but we agreed that his standpoint is solely on faith and a subjective experience. And you just can't really build from that. It's like, okay, if you have this subjective thing that you believe in, you acknowledge that it's a subjective thing. Why are you going around trying to correct other people's thinking to comport with yours? It's a bizarre thing to do. And that's why I respect even, on the other side of deconstruction, I keep meeting people in this community that have all sorts of different beliefs. They maybe it's witchcraft or maybe they're druids.
Thank you, Doubles.
Yeah. Maybe they believe in the Greek pantheon, there's all sorts of people from different walks, but they're not sitting there going, you need to believe the same way that I do. And this is the actual truth. And, they're not trying to shove it down my throat and I'm going to burn forever if I don't believe the same way or make the same noises that they do. It's not like that. It's like, hey, this is just what works for me, and it's like, cool, great. I love that for you.
Don't be so rational, Zach.
Yeah. How dare I be so rational, right?
Get a grip.
Get a damn grip. Just dirty, rotten deconstructionist over here.
Yeah.
Man.
Thank you, Doubles Public Defender. Thank you. Appreciate you. You guys, thank you all for being here. Thank you for the 65,000 likes. Thank you for all the new followers. If you're new, I'm CrystalJae, and I do conversations with CrystalJae Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. Wednesday, I do non-believers Bible study, and then many a Sunday, and starting back again this Sunday after Thanksgiving, I will be doing Decon Q&A with CrystalJae. My special guest is Kate the Great. So make sure you tune in Sunday right after Ass. Get yourself some Ass first from Mezzo. Okay, because, Atheist Sunday School. And then right after that, just, come over here and join me, and I will be live with Kate the Great.
What's the $1,000 there for, Crystal?
I am trying to get new equipment so I can be more like grow up. I want to be an adult creator. I'm trying to be a grown up. So every time you gift me like these gifts, oh my gosh, thank you so much. All of these gifts, when you tip me over on my link tree, I have places you can tip me. All of that is going to help me upgrade my equipment. It'll make it easier when I go live on YouTube. I'll be able to go live on Twitch. I'll be able to do all the cool things that you see, like, you know, Justin do, where he pulls the Bible verses and shit, and then my sound will be like plugged in instead of on my iPad. And oh, by the way, Rab, I do have to ask a very narcissistic question because
Okay.
that's who I am. Did any of your colleagues say anything about my song?
Loved it. They loved it. I mean, I think, yeah, no, seriously, really loved the song. I think, you know, there were a few moments where like it was kind of like obviously like it was, you know, I'm saying this in like there's no judgment because it makes sense, but like
You're allowed to.
okay,
You're allowed
so
to be
like
open and honest with me. I love it.
yeah, I think like we saw a few things that were like, oh, that's interesting, like sort of from a kind of like clearly in conversation with Christianity. But I think everybody was
because
just so
it
impressed.
was obviously
Right,
right. Like it's
right.
not just. I mean, like obviously Mount Sinai was very much Jewish, but the reality is I was a Christian, so it has to do with the lenses that Christianity also puts on it, right? Okay, okay,
Exactly.
cool.
So that was the only sort of like, oh, like kind of like not eyebrow raiser, but like oh, that's interesting. Like they couldn't use that song because it wouldn't have made sense in a Jewish context, but like deeply appreciated like how much you got and clearly got the thesis of standing again at Sinai.
Thank you.
Crystal, I have to drop, but I loves you so much.
I love you too, Nick. Have a great
And-
day, you guys, everybody. I want to say one thing. If you are following any of my panelists, you should be following me because I'm fucking awesome. But if you're following me and you're not following my panelists, you should be because I only have awesome friends. So what the fuck? Go follow all of them before they drop, okay? Thank you, Nick. I love you.
Nick, it was great to hear from you. I was not following you, and I am now. You're wonderful. Thank you so much for your words of wisdom today.
Thank you, Zach.
Great to see you, Nick.
I'll give you a follow back there. I saw you on Joyful's live, and you were like fucking spectacular. And then I had to giggle because you said you were a voice actor.
Yeah.
And I went to your page and I was like, no way. So I ran and got my son. I'm like, you're never going to believe who's on Joyful's live debating Christians right now.
Oh, that's well, I'd love to give your son a shout. So bring him on sometime when I'm live. I'd love to say hello.
He would be all for that. That would be amazing. Thank you so much.
Of course. Yeah, I'm happy to do that.
Rav, Digald, love you guys much. We'll see you guys all soon.
See you soon.
Bye, Nick.
Guys, I'm actually going to drop to. I'm going to go put some Christmas lights up on my roof in the rain right now because I'm a badass. So let's go.
Oh, all right. Are you going to be shirtless still? Because
Yes.
somebody came in chat and they go, put a shirt on. And if you guys weren't like seriously talking that moment, I was going to tell them, don't ever say that again or I will mute you.
No, just when I put a shirt on, people tend not to hear me as well for some reason. It's weird. It's like I put a shirt on and nobody listens.
So weird. It's weird.
Funny dude.
All right. Love you, Zach. Thank
Love
you
you,
so much for being here.
Crystal.
Be careful.
Of course
Be
I
careful
will.
on your roof.
Dougal,
Yeah,
love you, man. So good to see you. And Rob, so good to hear you and see you again. Awesome, guys.
Good to
Much
see you.
love.
Later.
Okay, guys, take care.
Bye. Have a great day. You guys, I will be live for about another half hour. If you are a Christian and you want to come up and talk, but I have a question for Rabbi while you're here. Oh my God, I forgot that I had this question. I highlighted it. I did all the things so I wouldn't forget to ask you.
I'm excited.
We are in Numbers 18, okay?
Okay.
All right, we're in Numbers 18. Let's go to verse 25. I'll just read a little bit above my actual question so you have a little context. So then the Lord spoke to Moses, saying, you shall speak to the Levites, saying, when you receive from the Israelites the tithe that I have given you from them for your portion, you shall set apart an offering from it to the Lord, a tithe of the tithe. What is that and why? And what's the deal?
Sorry, I got a phone call. I got tithe offering. You shall set
Okay.
apart.
The tithe of the tithe.
Yeah.
Can you explain that to us? Because we didn't know what that was.
Sure. Okay. So everybody's required to give a certain amount of their harvest, their portion, whatever. And then the Levites are also entitled to a portion to themselves. And then of that portion, the Levites are also required to tithe. Right. Like, so even though the Levites
to that tithe?
It's given to the temple, probably to like the poor plate or something like that. It's given. Yeah.
That's what we didn't understand, because we're like, do they get it back again? Then it all seems so fucking stupid. Like, we thought they took a tenth of it, gave it, and
it's a
then
Ponzi scheme.
Yeah,
it's a total Ponzi scheme. Yeah.
Talking about. Okay, one more question. In 19, okay.
Numbers 19.
Is it? Yeah, still in, because I'm doing numbers right now.
Yeah, for sure. I might actually be able to join this Wednesday, by the way.
Yay, that will be awesome. Okay, the Lord spoke to Moses and Aaron, saying, this is a statute of the law the Lord has commanded. Tell the Israelites to bring you a red heifer without defect. Why was it a red heifer?
I don't know why it's a red heifer. It is the red heifer is I think a biblical joke. And I say that because imagine okay, go find a 4-leaf clover right now. Okay. Go find the end of the rainbow. That's what I hear. In other words, go look for something. Go wait for something that's never come. Go wait for Godot.
Yeah.
Go find something that you'll never be able to find. Go look for something you'll never be able to find. And the irony is that the people that come up on this panel and argue for the literalism of the Bible are the same people that are in Austin, Texas right now trying to genetically modify red cows to be perfect and have no even one black hair would render the red heifer pasul, not worthy of its sacrifice. And the idea is that this red heifer would redeem all of Israel.
I know. They sent a red heifer to Israel recently, like Mike Johnson or some asshole.
Yeah, exactly. That's the company from Texas that is doing this nonsense. And what's funny is, everybody says, "Oh, Jesus was the Lamb of God." Well, Jesus should have been the cow of God.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
so maybe Hinduism is right.
Because so if you are if you were a sin sacrifice, you would be a cow?
I'd have to look at all the charts. I'm not like.
Because if I wasn't mistaken, it had to be like a female too.
Yep. For the Olah sacrifice, for the sin sacrifice, it's a female sheep. It's funny because nope.
Or is he?
There's let's not assume here.
I'm just saying because of chromosomes, and I'm just saying.
Oh, I see.
So I'm saying maybe he was.
I don't know if I helped at all, but.
No, you did. I didn't know what either of those things were, or the significance, and those kind of things always bug me. And then, when you're not here, we do a lot of ChatGPT. We also do, we
call it Rabbi Google.
Yeah. I have the Oxford. Well, also, I have really trained Esau. Esau is my ChatGPT. I have trained him to no apologetics, none whatsoever. I just want history And I want archaeology and I want science and I want real answers. I want to know what the Jewish people actually thought, not what Christian dogma teaches and stuff like that. But we also use the Oxford Companion to the Bible, and I have the Jewish Study Bible, but nothing compares to when you or Rabbi Hannah are there to help us.
Go on. Just kidding.
No, we really do appreciate it. Like, I love it when you guys are there because I like to get into the details of stuff. Like, you will read a paragraph in the Bible, and let's say it's about, here we're talking about the ceremony of the red heifer. And so you read about this ceremony, and we can just talk about that ceremony. But sometimes if you look, you can find out what the symbolism of the blood and like with his finger, what is the symbolism of that? There was something, you know? And to me, those kind of things are more fascinating and speaks more to the true messages that these people were trying to convey.
By the way, if you are looking for a book that really does a great job of explaining all of that and really looks deeply at kind of the traditions of the Israelites from a anthropological sense, Jacob Milgram's Leviticus is a excellent textbook. I've referenced it a few times when you were in Leviticus, but all of that information still applies in Numbers as well.
Well, I'm hoping I will be able to start reading some books again soon. I have been trying for a very long time to, get a diagnosis about something, and I'm finally going to get tested. And if I get tested,
Hi, sister. How are you? You're from Syria, sister. I need your help. 5 minutes, please.
Okay. No,
He's
I'm
from
sorry.
Syria. Yeah.
I know. I'm sorry. Sammy, that's not the kind of live this is, but thank you for being here. We appreciate you. So yeah, I am finally going to be able to get tested for my ADHD, which, I have been trying for a very long time. Let's just say it. And they're finally going to do it after all this time.
Well, I hope you get some closure and some answers and some relief.
Thank you. I hope I do too. It's been very frustrating. It's sometimes, like, I've talked a lot about it before on here. Having mental health issues is very difficult if you love somebody or you know somebody with mental health issues, and you ask yourself, why isn't this person going to the doctor? Why aren't they taking their medication? Why aren't they taking care of themselves? Because they have mental health issues. If they fucking didn't have those, they would do normal things. It is hard for me to pick up the phone to call for myself. If you needed me to call for you, that phone call would be made first thing in the morning. To make that phone call for myself, it's this huge fucking, 10-day, like, arguing with myself and beating myself up and putting it off and negotiating it and stuff. So it's hard to advocate for myself, and it's hard to see the worth in myself to do all those things. But I'll do it for you.
Crystal, my love, I was diagnosed with my ADHD when I was 40. I'm 43. Now, I want to tell you, everything you just described about why you don't call are symptoms of ADHD. So,
I've been trying for 5 years, and I'm just saying, when you've been fighting for 5 years with your doctors for something, you don't know how hard it is to keep fighting. Like, when I first started fighting, I was in a major depressive disorder, and I said, I really think that a lot of my depression is triggered by ADHD. And if I could just get help with the ADHD, I probably wouldn't get so depressed, And it's been 5 fucking years that they've been telling me that my insurance doesn't cover it. And I don't know why it took me 5 years, other than I have ADHD, to call my insurance. but they were like, "You're completely fucking covered. What the fuck are they talking about?"
So
why don't you just pick yourself up by your bootstraps, Crystal?
I know, because here's the thing: I don't have bootstraps. I have slippers. I don't know what to do.
I'm going to tell you
that
this,
would be
Crystal.
significantly harder. Yeah, sorry,
do
Jadal,
you know what? Oh, no, you're fine, Rev. I'm so sorry. I didn't mean to talk over you, friend. The testing for your state that they do you know what yours is? Because it's different state to state.
They have
and sometimes doctor to doctor.
They do.
Okay.
The Cigna approves. They have two different. One's like neurological, and then one's something else. I don't remember what she told me, but she sent me all the info.
So mine, just to kind of, for people in the chat who don't know how some of these testings might go, mine personally was I met with a psychologist first, who then gave me the recommendation after she did her own little test, which is usually just cognitive abilities as far as like how is your focus, memory, that kind of thing. Really quick stuff for her. Hers was like 15 minutes, the one I went to. Then she got me in. That was a recommendation through the psychiatrist, who then did 1 hour long test where it was a lot of memorization stuff. And that was rough for me because memory is a hard thing for me. And then the second test that he ran on me was 2 hours long, and it was more intense, but the same stuff. And I got my diagnosis from that. Some states don't even test. So it's...
I'm in Cali,
some doctors don't, and some insurances don't.
Apparently, some doctors don't, and even when you beg them, like, okay, how could you fucking have any compassion in your heart? I literally cried to him and said these exact words to him. I said, "Doctor, I honestly feel like sometimes I'm in the fight for my life here. And I'm in it all by myself because I feel like y'all aren't listening to me." As I'm crying. Like, how could you not go, "Okay, we'll give you the test"?
Right. Because
it's a fucking test.
It's sad, but because doctors themselves, especially old school doctors, even a lot of middle-aged and younger, like millennial doctors, still have stigmas on ADHD where they think it's just either hyperactivity or some baseline thing that's only a very small part of the whole schema of having it. So unfortunately, and plus because a lot of people take the medications recreationally, they also don't want to be involved with it sometimes because they're afraid.
I told him, I go, "Look, if it's about the medication, I can find different psychiatrists, but two, there is non-addictive medication now. You could try that with me. We could talk about it with my therapist. I will pay for the test." Like, how many fucking ways do I have to tell this doctor that I want this test? And like, when at one point, like, I'm just sorry. Let me just explain something to you. Okay, I know that men might not really realize this, but had I had a penis, I would already have been tested.
Probably. I'm not denying that at all. I am not denying that at all.
My husband never gets denied when he asks for anything regarding his health. They go, "Okay, pumpkin, here you go." But he has noticed this. He got a kidney stone. We have the same fucking insurance. He got a kidney stone. He was fucking put right into the hospital. He was put into a private room you should have seen this room. It was in Florida with a view and everything. I got a kidney stone, was sent home. I couldn't breathe.
Wow. That's insane. Those are I've heard those are the more painful than childbirth.
Yeah.
Okay, can I tell you my ADHD story of how I got diagnosed?
Yes.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny. So I went to this psychiatrist and we were talking about my anxiety, my depression, other things, blah, blah, blah. And then he, goes through the whole, here's the plan of action. Why don't you continue seeing a psychologist or a therapist, blah, blah, blah. And at the end, we're done. And I was like being really careful. I was listening. I was taking notes, all this stuff. We get done. He goes, "And what should we do about your ADHD?" And I'm looking around like, who said anything about ADHD? So 10 years later, I go to a new psychiatrist and he did not have my medical records yet. The exact same things happened at the end of the appointment. He's like, "What are we doing about your ADHD?" So I'm like, is it like written on my forehead? If you're a psychiatrist, it's just like obvious.
Yeah. Well,
So
my therapist and I have treated me as though I have ADHD for several
of
years
course.
because I fucking have ADHD. I'm
Right,
not
right.
stupid. I know what's wrong. I just now need the test so that we can do a course of action for me. I don't know
Exactly.
if I need medication. That is something my doctor and I can decide after we find out what,
Exactly.
you know,
And
what flavor of ADHD do I have? Where am I on
Right.
the spectrum? Okay, it's pretty.
And
bad.
what I'm going to say about medication is what I tell everyone, even parents of children who have it. Like, you don't have to do medication if you don't want to. But if you feel like your ADHD is really affecting your life and you want to try it, if it changes your personality, that's not the right medication. So don't be afraid to try a couple different medications if you have to until you find the one that works for you. Because for me, the one that works for me, I hardly notice it's working. And then I'll be like, wow, I got a lot done. What happened? That's the only difference. Or wow, I was able to focus on that for a while. And then I'm like, oh, medication. Like, but it just shouldn't change your personality or
say
anything.
something.
You
Okay,
know.
I do want to correct you a little bit on that. Okay, if you have borderline personality disorder or bipolar disorder, those are actual personality disorders. They're
Right,
disorders
right.
in your personality. So when I am medicated, my personality actually becomes what my true personality is. I do not
Right.
have
That's
the
different,
ups and
right.
downs that I have when I am when the bipolar is fully active. So in a way,
Right, but
my
the-
personality changes. It does change for the better though, because
Right.
yeah,
Well,
you're
I
not
would
watching me walk around like a zombie. You know?
Yeah, for me, what I think for my OCD and my I have OCD and I have bipolar 2. So what I notice is that it's not that it changes my personality, it just allows me to be who I feel like I am. Does that make sense? So it's like I just kind of don't have to be the, I'm still all boisterous and, like crazy all the time, but I don't have to do it. I can choose not to, where when I'm not on meds, it's not a choice. It just happens. So does that make sense at all?
I like what Hearthflower says. Bring in pictures of your laundry pile, desk, etc., and they will get the script out.
Oh, so true.
No, for real
So
though.
true.
Like, can I just bring in all my journals that I started and never finished? Can I just bring in all of those? You think that will help them? Here's all my calendars where I also started booking everything and then I stopped, a month into it. Okay, here's all my art projects I've started. Can I bring in all my craft boxes too?
Yes.
Here's all my craft shit.
All your half-finished projects, or quarter-finished projects. But I'm just so proud of you because that's really good that you finally reached out and fought for yourself, even though it took a while. That's really hard to do, and I'm so proud of you.
Thank you.
Keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Love you.
I love you too, Grana. You're amazing. You guys, I will be live for just 8 more minutes. If you've got something to say, you want to come up, say hi, whatever, pop in the box is cool. Unless we reach 10 more of my gifts, I'll pop it up there for you. But they're always appreciated, not necessary. Then I will be closing down in 8 minutes. But this has been good. We got 2 good conversations in today. I mean, not great. I mean, but you know what I mean? Like, we had some talks today. We got to talk to Hutu and Jordan. I don't know who are the biggest, brightest stars or whatever.
Right. I had the weirdest thing with my live. It was either yesterday. So have you ever heard of? I can't remember the character Edna Mode on the character from Invincible. Well, there's somebody around here who has like that screen name, and apparently they're a well-known like debater who goes around and talking about gender, and he's a bisexual male. And
Oh
he
no, I
apparently,
haven't seen him.
and apparently he's got this massive cult like following. They all invaded my live.
Wow.
And he came up and like tried to tell me like about trans people being a bi person, and I was like, well, I'm in the gay community. And he just tried to steamroll me, and then he called me fat and all this other stuff, and I was just like, all right, see you later. After that, I dealt for like 2 hours with his fan club in my fucking comments. You lost. You're terrible. I'm like, oh my god, it was awful. These people are miserable and insufferable.
I hate that for you. Hey, Tanika, how are you today? Oh, well, thanks for coming up, Tanika. Your puppy was adorable. I'm sorry. You didn't really get to say anything, but your puppy was adorable. And I appreciate you being here. Well, you guys, I think... No, don't be sorry. I loved seeing your dog. Who do we got to raid today? Who is out there right now doing the Lord's work? Let me check Discord and see who has gone live. Why can't I find the channel?
I don't have my iPad.
Okay. Is Loeb still live? Lisa, have a great day. Is Lobes or Jaren? No, Jaren raided me, so he's not live. Or Blitz? Are any of those people still live?
Yeah, Blitz was on earlier. I don't have my iPad, so I can't check. I don't know.
I'll go check out the... And we'll listen to my song one more time before we go today, too.
There we go.
Let's see who I got live. Oh, Zename is live. We'll raid Zename. And before we go, we'll listen to my song one more time that Rav and I were talking about. That is Ex Parte. Here we go. Trying to get close.
I hope I'm not late to the party. I've got something to say, and I want every gentleman here to have a front row seat for this ex-party. Ex-party for the ladies. One side talks, one side stays mute. You carved your covenant in marble, but forgot the feet that swept the pews. We bore the sons that filled these seas, and you signed the pact without the wound that bleeds. I call this court to order, heaven and earth bear witness today. Let the record show from the garden's first spring, the blame had a woman's name. Two men sat in the shade of a tree, Adam and Yahweh right in history. They needed a scapegoat, they signed the brief. From that moment on, sin's name was Eve. Leave two men alone, it's always the same. If they can't find a woman, they'll make one to blame. This is Ex Parte, my one woman plea. You created the lemon and tried to frame me. You called it divine, but the terms were deceit. I stand unbound with chains at my feet. Oh, at Sinai's peak, no woman was hurt. Shekinah silenced, her fate secured. Let the judge and jury see. The law can't bind what we didn't concede. The contract is null as defined. May the record show no woman signed. You never needed a savior or lamb, because the truth is sin's name is man. Sin's name is man.
Truly hard.
In the land of Egypt we lit the flame. Our mother's prayers, our songs unashamed. We worship the heavens, the stars, the seas. We knew the truth before their decrees. At Sinai the men left us behind, abandoning women, blind leading the blind. We bore the children, we kept the fire. They stood on our backs as they climbed higher. Once our rituals were pure, hands in the earth, spirit sure. With Asherah rays, they gave us no choice, but no Yaweh stands free. Sin is old and owns it deep. The contract is null as defined. Let the record show no woman sign. We never needed a savior. Because the truth is, His name is man. Yes, His name is man. Yes, the truth is, His name is man. His name is man. Yes, the truth is, His name is man. Sin's name is man.
You guys, thank you so much for being here. Ladies, remember, none of you should ever worship the Abrahamic God in any stretch of the imagination. You weren't even invited to Sinai. He doesn't give a fuck about you. Everybody have a great day. I will see you around the mean streets of TikTok and YouTube. Have a great day, everybody. Wherever you go, say CrystalJae Ray.